Right. Hello. How y'all doing today? Yes, I am a big old nerd. How you doing, Nate? Hi, Saget. Hi, Jizzle. Hi, Maddie. Jizzle. It's fun to say. All right. It is a nice, it was a hot one today. But it's nice and overcast now, so it wouldn't surprise me if we get some stuff crossing roads like immediately, because it's not just like direct sunlight beating down. Snake hunting, exactly. So we'll see. I'm gonna try something else today. I'm gonna try going the opposite way I normally do, at least at first. It would be nice if that, okay, thank God. It's annoying when that beeps. But I'm gonna try to go a different way. I did it when I came out here like a week ago, like in the morning. I didn't do a live. I was just cruising around. And well, I'm glad you like the lives. I like doing them too. But I wanted to see how long I have or how like far I could go while still having connection. And I could go a decent way back. So the hope is that, I mean, as soon as it starts really bugging out on me, I'll turn around. But I think I'll be able to go up onto these back roads a little bit, which shouldn't have many people, but there's a bunch of woods and stuff, and it's like it definitely gets a little bit further out there, and I know there's a lot of snakes out there. And the road goes on for a very long time, but as I said before, it just depends on how long I have service out there. So I'll try it out and see. But yeah, how y'all doing today? It's relatively uneventful for me. I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain. A Reptile Outdoors. Thank you, bro. Oh, Chaz, right? Is that your thing, bro? Reptile Outdoors. But anyway, I got a above ground pool, like a typical white trash, white pool or inflatable pool, whatever. And my backyard is not flat. It's got a bunch of little dips and stuff in it, so I had to buy a bunch of play sand to go put in a corner of it to kind of even it out a little bit. So it's filling up for the most part, but it's just one of those fun things where I've had to waste a ton of water to try to get the thing to fill up properly. So we'll see how that goes. But as soon as I start filling it up too, the birds in my neighborhood are all over it because it just hasn't rained like at all. And I think things are starting to get a little dehydrated. They're not doing too well. It's just kind of sad, but it's just how it goes. We're going to go and do a pass or two on this road. It is nice and overcast, and it doesn't look like storms. Like those clouds, if they were bigger, could potentially be storm clouds, but I just don't think that's the case. I don't think that's what that is. It's just darker clouds. We'll give this a pass or two before we go in. I mean, there are sinkholes in this area, relatively speaking. A lot of sand. I wish I had a pool, but the closest thing I got are beaches on two different Great Lakes. I've been up to the Great Lakes before. I have family in northern Michigan. It's been a long time since I've been up there, but yeah, that sounds too cold for me, to be quite honest with you. Even those lakes, I bet that they're probably too cold for me even at their warmest points, but It's just me. What kind of snakes do I find on this road? A bunch of stuff. I found mud snakes, scarlet snakes, found a eastern king that was hit by a car, corn snakes, rat snakes, a bunch of stuff on this stretch. So we'll try a couple things out, and hopefully something starts crossing before it gets dark. I didn't see anything on the way up here this time. They said it just needs to start raining. It hasn't rained in such a long time. I mean, it's June now, so we should start getting our summer rain conditions. But also, by midsummer, Erie and Ontario are fine for swimming. I've even swam up in Georgian Bay most summers. I mean, what is fine to swim into your, like, what temperature is that? Is that in the 60s? Is that in the 70s? Or is that in the 50s all year? Because 70s is pushing too cold for me. The springs here stay 72 year round. And that's almost too cold. Like that, I have to jump in and, like, you know, it takes a little bit for me to get used to that. Anything under that, no way. 70 degrees plus, okay. Hey, it's not there. Ooh, there's a little birdie in the road. Oh, it was a pigeon. I thought maybe it was a quail or something. Yeah, I'm hoping this is an eventful stream too. I mean, of course I hope this is an eventful stream. I want to see some stuff crossing. We'll see. You know, it of course would be nice if we get something before the sun sets. Yeah, it is Canada. That's true. Cold, you know, to me. But, you know, some people like not being able to go outside for half the year because they'll freeze. But you know what? We all know Canadians are a little loopy, no offense. They say the same thing about us. I'm fine with that. You know, they gotta thaw out a little bit. Don't get kicked by an armadillo. I'll try my best. I'll try my best. That's always the goal. All I was doing was trying to tickle him. That's all I was trying to do. It's his fault that he got mad. It ain't my fault. I'm gonna go take a left and go down this road that I was telling you about, and go up into the see if I start having issues almost immediately. Ooh, there is an old mattress that's there that someone threw up there that I have not seen before. Next time we come down this road, like after I'm done making this loop, I'm gonna go try to check out underneath the old mattress and see if there's any snakes under it. Why someone would just throw an old mattress like on the side of the road, I don't know. It doesn't make much sense, but somebody did. All right. So we're gonna go down this other stretch for a minute or two and see how long it takes for us to start having issues with service. The second we do, I'm turning around. I don't feel like dealing with that, but we'll see. Because I have a feeling that up here would be a good place to look for snakes at night. As you can see, there's not really any houses out here. That's a dirt road right there to my right, but I don't think it's that long. We got a Jep coming up on us. Let's see. It's been so mild this winter. The perch moved early in Lake Erie, so by Easter they were pretty sparse already, and that's usually peak fishing for them in deep water. Gotcha. Huh. Perch. Never caught a perch. You talking about yellow perch? Never caught one. Caught a few smallmouth. Ooh, is that something right there? No, that's a piece of metal, I think. Yeah, I've caught a few smallmouth. I've caught micro trout in some places up in Georgia, but I have not caught a perch. okay with the air sac being hooked though. The air sac being hooked. What does that mean? What air sac? On here I slam in the pickerel. Yeah, ooh, what the heck was that? I think or the pig that was up here. I just saw a big black thing walk into the woods for a quick second. I don't know what that was. I thought it for the longest split second I thought it was a bear, but I seriously doubt it was a bear. It was probably a pig. There's a lot of pigs out here. Their air bladder, oh gotcha, yeah, we have the same thing with a lot of our fish offshore here. You know, you reel them up and their air bladder comes out of their mouth. I couldn't tell if that was a bear or a pig, but I only saw a split second of it walking into the woods, and it was black, completely jet black. It was not a Bigfoot. And I'm surprised. I have gone farther down this road than I was expecting to go without having any issues of service. So I am excited because I definitely want to come down this way to look for snakes tonight. As the sun goes down, I think it's going to be pretty good. So we'll go down a little bit farther, or we'll see how far until I start having issues, because I know eventually it'll turn, but this whole area out here is pretty great, to be quite honest. Ooh, cows. Let's see. Come on. Still haven't had any issues. That's cool. I'm almost to the entrance of one of the parks up here that I drive down. I mean, I can't get into the, I know that I'll lose service in there. But out here, ooh, is that a snake? No, that's just a dark spot in the road. It gets you. I'm telling you. Every little spot in the road gets you when you're coming up on it before you realize how wide it is. Because all you see is a black line at first, and you're like, oh, there's something right there. But no. And I am very pleasantly surprised. I'm surprised you get reception at all. No chance for me to live stream up here. Yeah, some spots, no, but this area that I'm at right now, I actually do really well, and it's kind of out. I'm actually a little bit north of you right now. I got it because I was living in Ocala, and I was told that Verizon has the best service out there. So I got it because I had T-Mobile before. And now I look at it, and I think that T-Mobile has better service now, but I mean, I haven't switched or anything. I don't know. I might end up switching, depends. But I'm going to try, hopefully not too long from now, to get boost service. So where I can go to, and it's a lot farther than I expected. So I'm going to go back towards where we were in the beginning. The sun is starting to set. So cool, little experiment worked out. Now that the sun is almost down, I'm pretty sure stuff is going to start crossing any minute now. But I have a good feeling about tonight. You know, not much changed in terms of, you know, rain. It has not rained. Got pickerel, muskie, and the large amounts of sheep's head. My goal fishing in my province, like, say, is sturgeon. Nice. It's funny you say sheep's head. We have sheep's head here in Florida, and I've heard that, I know you guys have sheep's head and you call it, I forgot what the, I don't know what your sheep's head looks like, but no, it starts at G. No, I'm up in the Suwannee area, lower Suwannee area. Yeah, they're completely different. Y'all also have drum, and drum funny enough, look exactly like our black drum. So we have a fish called a black drum. They get over 100 pounds, like they get huge. They're related to redfish and trout, and they make this very guttural booming sound, which is why they call them drum. But they look exactly like freshwater drum, except the smaller ones will have black and white stripes, a lot like a sheep's head. And they get confused for a sheep's head a lot, but they have a different face and they have barbels under their chin. But the freshwater drum look eerily similar to our black drum that we have here, which is funny. And like, you know, people like catching them. I mean, they're okay. They don't really, not many people eat them. They call them big uglies. But yeah, no, I know that at least over the past little bit, it hasn't rained. I heard that there was like a heat dome coming up from Mexico, which is just a pocket of really hot air. Yes, there's a lot of diversity. I was out here not too long ago and found a dead eastern king snake, unfortunately, but mud snakes, scarlet king snake recently, scarlet snakes, you know, a lot of rat snakes. There is diversity up here, and sometimes every once in a while you'll get like the diversity overload out here. You know, you'll get pine woods litter snakes. I got a red belly snake out here not too long ago. Tantilla, rough greens. I haven't found any rough greens in a while, but I know they're out here. I mean, I've seen dead rattlesnakes, both pygmy and eastern diamondbacks. So, I mean, I have yet to see one alive out here. Corn snakes, there was a few of those last time, but of course they were hit. So it's a very good, diverse area. You just, you know, conditions got to be right, and sometimes, you know, you just get those species. Sometimes the snakes are like, I'm going to move today. But with there being no rain recently, it's kind of put a lot of things into a funk, I think. I mean, snakes are still moving, but I think that once it starts raining, it'll really pick up. But, you know, and of course you get, I've only seen a couple of water snakes out here, surprisingly. Usually there's a lot more of them, but I think it's the lack of rain. Seen some cottonmouth, but usually you see a lot more water snakes. Also, no garter snakes really recently, even though I find them out here. We have blue stripes out here, and they're beautiful. Garter snakes, a lot of ribbon snakes though. Of course, you're going to find ribbon snakes in Florida, but I haven't seen any in a while. So I'm going to take a turn up here and go up and down this road until it gets completely dark, and then we'll go our normal way. But I'm glad that that area opens up back there for me, so I can, you know, I don't run out of service. But I got to get one of these boosters here shortly. All right. You know, the most frustrating thing in the world would be if I come out here and there's just something awesome that got hit by a car that crossed or got hit since I left. That would be very frustrating. And of course that stuff does happen, but what you gonna do about it? A couple nights ago, found scarlets, ribbons, cons, and glass lizards out near black prong. I don't know where black prong is. That's not a bad night. I love finding scarlet snakes. Whenever I find scarlet snakes, I know that, you know, stuff's moving pretty good, because like the conditions have to be pretty good for scarlet snakes to be on the road. Got bit by one of them common king snakes one time. God bless the golden heart. Still have that thing as a pet today. Nice. Yeah, you don't find too many of them. They're very elusive. I found a Florida king down in the cane fields in South Florida, but I haven't found the live eastern king up here yet. But I know people who have, and I know they're up here. Man, dudes flying down these roads. That's the worst part. Them flying down these roads, and you know that if there was something crossing, well, hopefully it was on the other side of the road by the time that truck got to it. And with hauling a boat, there's just more wheels to hit things with, unfortunately. All right. Let's get the first one of the night. Eastern king snake here. Well, this is where I found one. There are Eastern king snakes here in this part of Florida. I mean, the actual like subspecies and everything gets kind of screwy. It's, I don't know, like you get, so when I mean the Eastern king snakes and black and white chain pattern, exactly. So up in this part of Florida, we have the black and white chain pattern. Now the chain patterns here, you know that it's a Florida snake. Like you get into Georgia and you get the Eastern kings and with the chain kings, and they have, you know, very tight banding. Here, the like the bottom of the band like extends out, and it's I don't know how to, I mean, it has a different look to it than even the ones there. And then you go up north towards like the Panhandle, and in Apalachicola there are the Goinii, I think they're called. They're like speckled. A very small amount of snake species. You guys have so many to remember. Yes, there's a lot of snake species here to remember. If you showed me a picture of every single one in Florida, I could probably name them. I think I can name all of them. The scientific names, you forget about it. I am not great with that. I know a few of the scientific names, but I can name all the snake species. Have I found all of them? No. I found a lot of them, and I'll probably make a list at some point and, you know, actually tick off what I have found and, you know, be like, okay, I need to find this. But I mean, I've even knocked a few off the list this year. We got, you know, the mud snake, the red-bellied snake. Let's see, what else? I know I got something else this year. I'll have to look back at it. Towards the coast of North Carolina, they're dark brown and yellow. Yeah, and they do change. It's crazy how they change. And then down in South Florida, you have the Florida king, which is more of like, it doesn't have the chain, but it's got like reds and oranges and black. It's just darker in color. It doesn't have the chain. It's just the cut pattern's different. And then if you go even farther, you get the Brooks king, which is like super white, and a lot of people know about the Brooks king, but you know, it's just all messed up. Yep, Massasaugas, found about 20 by kayaking out the island, camping overnight. That's awesome. Yeah, Massasaugas are in the same family or genus, I don't remember the exact taxonomy, as the pygmy rattlesnakes that we have here in Florida. It's not Crotalus, it's I forgot what it was, to be quite honest, but it means like little bell. It because they have, ooh, what is that? There's a snake. Is that a big ribbon snake? Look at that. Look at the belly on this thing. I know, you got a meal in you. I don't want to mess with him too much because he has a meal in him. I'll consider that a win. That is one of the fattest ribbon snakes I've ever seen. I thought it was a garter snake at first because of how fat it was, but it had just eaten something, probably a frog. So, one snake down. Okay. Of course I get deer flies buzzing around me. Yeah, the speckled kings are beautiful. My family has an island near Georgian Bay. The coolest thing I've seen is a martin. Oh, I'm talking about the purple martins. Yeah, that was a thick boy. Cool, and that wasn't there literally 5 seconds ago before I turned around, so it had just moved onto the road. I literally, I thought maybe I had accidentally hit it when I first saw it, because I'm like, I literally just turned around. How did I not see it? But it had just gone onto the road. Okay. Cistruurus. Yes, that's what it is. Oh, like the fox, squirrel, ferret-looking things. Huh. Oh, gotcha. I thought you meant like the bird, like we have purple martins down here. They look kind of like swallows. I don't know if they're a species of swallow or not. I don't know. I know a lot about a lot of things, unfortunately, but I don't know everything. And a lot of the stuff I talk about, it's because I'm just reading about them. I found it interesting. And you gotta talk as if you know about it already. Corn snakes are beautiful too. Yes, we get a lot of corn snakes here. What up, DNA? When are you coming to California? We need to hunt some rattlesnakes. Well, California is not high on my list, to be quite honest with you, but I would love to go there because I know that you guys have incredible wildlife over there. And I do have a few mutuals online that live in California and do the, especially rattlesnakes. I had a buddy who went out there and found a couple. Same thing with like rubber boas and rosy boas. I would love to go to California. I would love to see the redwoods. I'd also love to do some herping. It'll happen. It'll definitely happen at some point. I don't know when, but it definitely needs to happen. I'd love to do like a herping all 50 states sort of thing. Even though some states would be more difficult than others. We got Disneyland. We got Disney World, okay? We got the OG. All right, is it the OG? I don't know if it's the OG or not. Whatever. I live in Florida, man. I love Florida. It's like it's basically the exact opposite of California. I can't diss California in a lot of ways, but unfortunately, it is like I love Florida too much. Baby rat snakes are what I see most often in North Carolina. A lot of snapping turtles. Yep, a lot of rat snakes in the mountains and in the south. Oh yeah, redwoods are beautiful. Deer are freaking huge. Don't ever approach one. Well, what the funny thing is, we got a ton of deer here as well, but our deer are a lot smaller, and people say they're basically dogs, which I can understand because they are tiny. Let's see. I know that there's this mattress up here. I want to go flip it real quick before it gets too dark. East is the Yeast Coast. Yeast Coast. Huh. Well, my dad got hit by a deer. Well, his car. Oh, West is the best. Not when it comes to baseball, bro. East has, okay, here's the mattress. I'm going to pull over. I'm going to flip this mattress, and then I'm going to urinate. He stopped on the highway and it still decided to run into his car. Hell yeah. I hit a deer once. It was not fun. All right. Someone just threw this mattress up here. I'm in flippy floppies, so. Oh. Well, there's nothing under that, and that was just thrown. I'm not diving. I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. Let me put this back in. And then take off my, here, 1 second. All right. There we go. Bed bugs for life. Oh, yeah. You got me. The Angels of Anaheim only won the World Series once ever. True. Well, the Rays have never won one, so there's that. There's a Florida King over there. Of course, I would love to see a Florida King. Yep. No, it's the mattress. It's almost new. Yeah, that mattress is... I've literally never seen that mattress here. and I come down this road a lot, so someone just put it there. So the chances of something being under that are like pretty much none. I mean, it's not impossible, but Blue Jays, yeah, you know what? Y'all can spend your money on your top players to have them do nothing, okay? Vladdy Jr. is, you know, he's better than I am, but at least we got one. Tampa at Florida. Yeah, I get it. Whatever. I get what you mean. Florida's won. The Marlins have won 2, by the way. But yes, I know what you mean. You know, the Rays just don't spend money, unfortunately, and this year has been a very sad year. So, whatever. It is what it is. But overall, the AL East is the hardest division. They make up for the Leaves. Yeah. Well, and then oh my gosh, if I can remember his name, Bo Bichette. He went to my ex-wife's high school, and they were in school the same time together. Dude, have you seen the freaking huge moose? Are there quite an interesting? Yes, elk versus moose. Who wins? Moose, of course. Moose get way bigger than elk. Moose win more often than they don't. The Padres haven't won shit. Yeah. I mean, the Padres, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are good teams over there. But, you know, besides the Dodgers being able to throw all the money in the world, wait, it would be better with the soccer team to say, soccer? What? People care about soccer in the United States? I didn't know that. I mean, to me, soccer in the United States is no different than if they put a professional cricket team here. Like, yeah, I guess there is a team, but come on. I mean, why does Buffalo have a hockey team? I don't know. Moose is like the X-Men among the fawn. Yeah, pretty much. You know, shoot. We have a hockey team here in Florida. I mean, there's multiple states that have multiple of the same type of baseball team. I mean, or sports team. I mean, shoot, California has like five baseball teams or something like that. Like, I mean, it makes sense that there's so many. It's not that surprising. And, ooh, was that a snake right there? I couldn't tell. Can't tell if that was... Let me check. And, of course, I leave my car door open for all the bugs to get in. I couldn't tell this was grass. Oh, it is grass. See that little thing on the side of the road there? I thought it was a snake. Come on, dude. Soccer's the oldest sport in the world. Us Americans, when we can't win anything, we create our own games like golf and American football just so we can, I mean, I guess, whatever. I mean, the only sport I care about is baseball. So, I mean, sure, there's other older sports, and I get it. Like, there's plenty of sports out there, but I mean, you can say all you want about Americans. All right, here we go. Snake time hunted on campfire style. Wait. With this, I got this deer fly in the car with me. He's flying around the window there. Yes, get out, shoot. Thank you. All right, let's go. I mean, I think I only watched the CFL during the Grey Cup. What's the Grey Cup? Great Plains rat snake will bite a lot too. All rat snakes pretty much bite a lot. I mean, they're either really chill or they're not chill at all. And the bigger they are, the less they tend to bite when it comes to rat snakes. It doesn't mean they don't, but small rat snakes almost always bite. When you get one that doesn't, it's kind of oh, nice. You don't want me to be in pain. That's very nice of you. Like Super Bowl for the Canadian Football League. Oh, gotcha. Canada. need a passport to get to Canada? I don't know. I think so. I think Canada's super strict on who they let in and out. I heard that if you wanted to move out of Canada, you have to pay them to not pay taxes anymore. Like, you can't just leave. You have to pay them to leave. And if you want to move in, you have to, like, make a certain amount of money. Like, they're very, like, people get on America, but they're super strict in Canada. I don't know, someone else on social media that had moved down from Canada, moved to Texas recently. They have to pay a ton of money to not live in Canada anymore, because otherwise Canada will still charge them for taxes or something like that. And that's because we get government services like healthcare to a degree. Yeah, but you know, oh man, that whole thing. Yeah, well, you pay for it in your taxes, so it's not really free. And on top of that, my understanding, and from people that I've heard from and I've heard talk about it, you can get your basic stuff, but you're gonna have to wait in lines. It's a lot harder to get in and out of, you know, like to get the care you need. And if they don't see it as necessary, they'll just say that you don't need it. But I mean, of course, that could be bullshit, but that's just from what I've heard. Not saying Americans stuff is good, but oh, there is a smudge in the road. Good herpy in Texas. Watch out for Diamondbacks. Yeah, we got Texas is fantastic, but I'd love to go herp Texas. Yeah, if you don't want to keep status for your provincial services, then you have to basically refund the amount. Oh, gotcha. Ew. Like from the tax season you leave. Jeez. Refund. You have to pay them for the services that you didn't use. Interesting. There's a car behind me. I'm going to pull off the side real quick. Let this person pass me real quick. But only like for the services you did use. Oh, for the service you did use. Gotcha. All right. We got a yacker. All righty. Come on, we got one ribbon snake. Let's get some other stuff to cross here. There's a ballerina and a Street Fighter now. What is the world coming to? Oh my god. Hey, you know what? Whatever. It's not a big deal, which is still way less than a private medical bill, because socialism kind of, I mean, I guess. I don't know. My understanding, all the good doctors want to get paid, so they move to other places. I have not been to Canada. I'm only speaking from a perspective that I know, but you know, to each their own. I don't know. I mean, shoot, I don't even have insurance, health insurance, so, because I'm not paying for private health insurance because it's way too expensive. And there was a while there where with our tax codes, when you would do taxes, like especially like when I first started working and like Obama was still president, like with Obamacare, if you didn't have Obamacare, you were charged for not having health care. Like you had to pay extra taxes because you didn't have health care. I think I had to pay like $500 or $600 because I didn't have health care. Some bullshit. But you know, nowhere's perfect. Nowhere's perfect. All right, come on. All right, we gotta make this turnaround up here, and it's about getting to that point where their stuff should really start coming out on the road. Let's fingers crossed on that part. See, it's 8:40, so we'll give it one more turn down this road, and then we'll go to the main road for a little bit, and then turn back around like we did that one time where I saw the two scarlet snakes on the same night. I me get back into here. It was 9:30, and there's the mattress again. We still have to pay for certain things, but not for life savings type of services or general checkups. We pay for an ambulance, prescription medications, and non-emergency surgeries. We just pay way less. Gotcha. I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, I know that no matter what happens, if you need it, get it. It's like a life-saving thing that you can get the surgery, especially if it's like an emergency thing. You'll get taken care of. And oftentimes they will charge you, but there's ways to get out of paying the full amount. And a lot of hospitals are non-for-profit. And if it's a non-for-profit hospital and you make under a certain amount of money a year, people don't understand that you can actually get out of paying like most of it. But speaking of redwood trees, there's a customer of mine that I deliver mail to. He wanted of Northern California, and the redwood tree seed and grew it in his front yard. Really? I follow on TikTok this guy who only does redwood. My city has a protective order against trees, so none of the trees can be cut down. This dude's trees stick out like a sore thumb. You can see it 5 to 10 miles away wherever you can. That's awesome. Dental isn't covered. It's $2,000 a month. Root canal and filling example. But if yours the government works, they pull it. Not for free. Disability. Do everything but cosmetic procedures. It's hilarious. It's like massive. Yeah, there's a few ways you can get around certain laws like that when it comes to certain types of plants. I know that one of the things, like if you live in an HOA, like certain HOAs have certain laws, but like I know that if anything is considered a bee sanctuary, it's illegal to remove it. I don't know if that's everywhere, but I'm pretty sure it's in most places that if it's a bee sanctuary, you're not allowed to do anything to it. So like if you let your plants and stuff grow out and you put up flowers, even if it goes against HOA rules, and you get it marked as a bee sanctuary, then you're legally not allowed to have it removed, I believe is how it works. So like there are a lot of workarounds for stuff, but I would never live in an HOA, so I would never really have to worry about that. But, you know, there are a lot of workarounds like that. And the most infuriating thing to me was, especially recently, like every single year, you get like this, especially here in Florida, they'll come out with something like, you can't water your lawns on these days. If your if your house ends in blah, 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 then you can mow on this day and like that sort of thing. And they do that because, especially during summer, because, you know, people are watering their lawns. Well, the problem is that a lot of these developments put in these plants or these lawns that need to be fertilized and need to be watered a certain amount because like they're not from Florida. And yeah, and it's runoff control. That's exactly what the reason for it is. But you get people who get infuriated by it and they're like, I pay my tax dollars for this and blah, blah. And I get what they're saying. I'm not denying that the reason that they're upset is valid. Like it's the state controlling or the city or whatever controlling when you can't do something. And I understand the frustration in that. My pushback is, why would you plant or have something that requires all of these chemicals to keep alive, all this water to keep alive because it's not supposed to be growing there? Why have we stuck so much onto this green lawn shit? It doesn't make any sense. Why not plant stuff that's native so that it like grows naturally in the area you live in, so you don't have to worry about that? I mean, there's plenty of native species of grass that you could plant that would be not only beneficial to the environment and like the native animals that live there, because like, here's the thing, when you plant those non-native grasses and you require these fertilizers, pesticides on them, you know, it may be green, it's a green desert, that's all it is. You plant native stuff. I have clover in my lawn in my backyard. You have ground cover. Nice. My property in Florida, native weeds, and when I mow it, it looks like grass. Yeah, exactly. Put native stuff out there, and it won't matter. Like my yard is the same sort of thing. If I let it grow, like the flowers that come out from it are incredible. There's all sorts of different plants in there. But then when it gets mowed, it literally looks like just regular native grass. And the problem here in Florida is that most of the area we have around here is sand. It's just strictly sand. So like we don't have much dirt. So a lot of, if the grass dies, it's just sand patches. That's all it is. Plant native stuff that can grow in any of the conditions, or at least the stuff that's used to growing in your area. So like you don't have to worry about that stuff. Plant native. You don't have to use fertilizers. And I mean, it's infuriating. And like, I understand their point of saying things along the lines of, well, I pay taxes to live here. I should be able to water my lawn whenever I want to. I get that. So like, but I think that we should move away from planting these non-native grasses in the area you live, and that would solve a lot of problems. These same people are like, drive electric vehicles because it's better for the environment. It's like all it is virtue signaling. Don't be a pawn of big life. Hey Ocha, how you doing? Yeah, basically there's so many things that we could do, little things that have nothing to do with like this whole back and forth between I'm not against. Do you guys have green bins, organic scrap collection? No. Green bins? No. I mean, some areas have like recycling, which is usually in like a blue bin. And, we have trash and recycling, but a lot of like my city doesn't have recycling. But even then, recycling, it's like it only does so much. Like it's really not like the way that you have to, like, don't get me wrong. I don't think recycling is a bad thing, because I really don't. But it's not this earth-shattering thing that it's portrayed out to be. Green bins so the trash pandas don't destroy your garbage. Oh. I mean, I don't really have too much of an issue where I live with. My city is trash, recycling, organic waste pickup, and yard waste pickup. Yeah, I mean, we have regular trash, and then you could, depending on where you're at, like where I grew up, yes, they have recycling. In Pinellas County, they have recycling. And then they'll have like a truck that drives around and picks up. Yes, Vivo, we got a ribbon snake so far, but it's just starting to get dark. So hopefully stuff starts to move here. But I mean, it's just one of those things where you can do a lot for the environment without like virtue signaling about it. Nate, they destroyed my green bin, so I got a Lomi. What's a Lomi? But yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's so many things you could do. And I mean, literally just having native plants in your yard can do so much to boost things up. All right, they have bitten through mine. Yeah, we have raccoons and stuff. They don't really bother us too much. Overnight composter, huh? It's interesting. Yeah, but there's just so much you can do that doesn't require you spending a ton of money, and a lot of it's just virtue signaling. Yes, rakins. Frickin' rakins. Wi-Fi machine thingy indoors turns scraps into dirt. Gotcha. That's pretty cool. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I mean, most of it's just to make people feel good, make them. Ooh, there's 2 deer. That almost. They were trying to run across the road and saw my car and just stopped and went back the other way. Two little deer. 2 little Florida deer. Nothing crazy. I just throw myself on the raised beds. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I grew up with backyard chickens, and we'd just, get all their waste and put it in a compost bin, and the eggshells and all that stuff, and put it in the garden, and I'd like to get back into doing a little gardening, and not a crazy amount, just enough to get things going. All right, I'm gonna go turn onto the main road, drive down a little bit, and then I'll turn around here and try to come back up here. Try to be up here at like 9:30. That would be nice. Love going on rides to see animals. Nice. Glad you stopped by, Dennis. That's hopefully what we're about to do, is find some more snakes. We got one ribbon snake. All right, there's a car coming here. I'm going to wait for it to pass. Now we got one ribbon snake. There should be some other stuff moving. I mean, it was nice and hot today, and the roads will be nice and warm. It's a little overcast. It's not supposed to, the temperature's not supposed to reach, not even in the 70s. It's supposed to stay up in like the upper 70s, lower 80s all throughout tonight. So it's going to be a warm night, and that it's just going to get warmer and warmer as time goes on. That's usually what happens. That's just how Florida do during the summer. It'll be like 85 even at night. It'll be like, upper 90s to, during the day, and then it'll stay humid, and it'll be muggy and humid all night long. I like those nights. I really do. And it means that the snakes tend to start moving later and later, because it takes longer for the roads to cool down enough for them. It still stays really hot, but it also depends on if it was raining that day or what. There's a bunch of, even if it rains, throughout the day, like, the roads will still be a little warm. We have a lovely local farm co-op that does weekly produce box deliveries if you buy a share of the lands for the season. They also have additional add-ins like eggs, honey. You can order meat. That's cool. I think that's a lot better of a thing to do than a lot of the programs that are set out. Like, if you had like local gardens, and I think that's a lot better ecologically, because, like, don't get me wrong, like, especially getting into like wildlife conservation and all this stuff, like, I understand people's issues with, like, I'm in a weird spot with all of this, because, like, growing up, I was not against global warming necessarily, but like the people who push it, and like the way it was pushed in school, and like the fear mongering with it, and like, oh, the big thing is Florida's going to be underwater in this amount of time. It's like, I don't think it's a good idea to try to predict when these things are going to happen, because a lot of it's either A, out of our control, really, and B, like, you're just scaring people, and the people who don't believe it, that's not going to change their minds either. So there has to be a better way to get to people to realize that there's probably better ways we can go about doing things that aren't as destructive to the environment, while at the same time, like, being beneficial for them. I remember having panic attacks about having oil in yours already passed on. Yeah, and like, that's the sort of thing. It's like, the way I view it right now, we are not technologically advanced enough to move away from oil. We're not. Could we get to that point in a few years? Sure. Are there things that could help us right now that aren't going to be devastating to us? Absolutely. Would it be better if, especially with today's technology, if we move towards like nuclear? Absolutely. Nuclear power is one of the cleanest powers out there now. But it has such a bad rep because of all the issues that have happened in the past with it, that people are scared to move that way, and it's not even like looked at as an option. They'd rather put up 50 solar, or not solar, but put up these giant solar fields or big wind turbines out in the middle of nowhere that kill a bunch of the native wildlife than something that we could look towards, like, it's always the future thing, that we have things that we could do now. And as much as I'm not against electric vehicles, they're not worth it to me at this point. And to the average person, they're not worth it. The technology is not there. The batteries don't last anywhere near long enough. And there's not enough charging stations in the middle of nowhere. Like, a lot of stuff has to happen. Is it moving towards that way? Yes, it is. It's moving towards a more cleaner / like economically sustainable thing. 100%. And there's a lot of cars coming down this road. I think I'm going to turn around and go back up that road with fossil fuels mostly. Yeah, and like, bro, why are you shining your brights at me, man? I'm going to turn around, actually. I'm not going to go down this way. There's just too many cars coming down this way right now. I'm going to go back up that way and cross back a few more times, and then I'll come down this way. Unless you live in a huge hydroelectric area like we may do. Yeah, there are other things. But fear-mongering, you're not going to convince the people who don't believe in it, who believe that everything is a government conspiracy. Those people already are under the mindset that all this green energy initiative stuff is nothing more than a government ploy to make your life harder, and that it's the biggest scam there is. Like, that's all that some people see it as. And I think, which is why Teslas are super common around here. The government gives big kickbacks, and honestly, the infrastructure isn't established enough anyways. Exactly. Exactly right on nuclear energy. People don't understand how simple it is either. I work putting up solar farms, but only produce 20% of the energy in the conversion. Yeah, and like, give it enough time. Like, our batteries or the way that we store power is not sustainable for that stuff right now. So like, I think it's Germany. Germany has a ton of power, like solar power. I believe it's solar power. And they have an excess of it during the times of year that they can use it. And then they have to, like, so much of it, they have to sell it off. But then during the winter, they have none of it, and they have to buy power. Ooh, that was a dead snake in the road. What was that? I think it was a dead snake. So they have to buy their power from places like Russia. And that's one of the big things that people were worried about in the beginning of this Ukrainian conflict. Oh, that's a dead, smashed up pygmy rattlesnake in the road. Man, nothing but dead pygmy rattlesnakes recently. But like, during the beginning of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, like, that was one of the big things, is that they were like, what is Russia going to do to, places like Germany that rely on them? And like, this is a big issue. And like, people were freezing to death because they had no power. And we have to buy it back. Gosh. Yeah, the whole thing is messed up. And that's a big problem. But, it's just, there are so many things that right now we're just not at that level yet. Nationalize oil. I mean, it would be better if everybody was able to take care of themselves to an extent. But the Secret Inventions Act of 1951 makes it so that you aren't allowed to produce and sell a lot of energy-based tech, because a lot of other industries that produce billions more a year would be obsolete. It's frustrating. Or gas cheap and make those Americans pay. It's and the thing is that America doesn't, like, America could be completely self-sufficient on energy. Could be. There's a lot of things that we need to keep our nose out of. Unfortunately, it's not up to the people on that. It's up to the friggin' politicians, and I'm sure it's like that everywhere. It's like that everywhere. But it's like this whole thing with energy and like this push to go green and all this crap. They're trying to push for something that doesn't exist yet. let private industry to, like, people don't like Elon Musk. Elon Musk is at least attempting something, and you can say what you want about him. He's just trying to fill his own pockets, whatever. The point is that, like, with the Starlink stuff he's doing, like, he is, I understand that there's more to it besides just him, but there are so many initiatives that man is putting forward to try to change things, and there needs to be more people like that. And unfortunately, people don't like the fact that billionaires do anything because people don't like billionaires, but you know, that's how some of this stuff becomes cheaper and widely available for people to use. You might hate Musk, but overall, he's been a good thing for, you know, at least driving society forward. I mean, I can understand why people don't like him, but maybe will exist here in 6,000 plus inventors that are blocked due to economic homeland. Yeah, maybe. Do you like turtles? I like turtles. I just, I don't know as much about them as I should. I can't really, like, I can name some individual turtle species if I come across them, but like water turtles, anything that lives in the water, I have a hard time distinguishing between the species. Musk drove his bank account forward. Yeah, that may be so. I mean, I don't disagree with you. A lot of it is for selfish reasons, but if it helps the humanity overall, I mean, he definitely pushed the electric vehicle stuff forward a lot. People just like to shit on people they don't like, and I can understand it. You should let me teach you about turtles. I have a PhD in turtles. Nice. I wouldn't be opposed to that. A PhD in turtles. What is that degree called? Is it turtleology? What is your favorite turtle? What made you want to be in, you know, what made you want to invest your life into turtles? I know a few people who are really big turtle people. Like, they spend the majority of, like, they look for animals and, you know, reptiles specifically, but like they literally, like, will drive hours just to find one particular type of turtle that lives in like a certain river or something like that. Like, that's, I mean, I'll do the same thing for snakes, so I get it. I've just never been in the turtles as much, and I know people do the same thing about every single type of animal. There's people who are like doing the same thing I do, except for bugs. The big shell incident propelled him into turtles. The big shell incident. Dude, Musk is potentially false prophet promoting man-machine blasphemy. Oh, God. Sure, I mean, maybe. I don't know. Nothing you or I could do to figure that out. Ecologist with a focus on marine reptiles and amphibians. Oh, so you like sea turtles? We got a bunch of sea turtles here. Actually, that's one of the things I'm going to do here, hopefully pretty soon, is I'm going to do some beach walks and try to find turtles laying eggs on the beach. I'm going to do that pretty soon. The Musk stink pot turtle. Oh. Yeah, we got those here. We also got loggerhead musk turtles, and we got 3-line musk turtles. I know they live stream and swears and eat pizza. Exactly. All right, it's dark enough. There should be some stuff crossing. There's frogs crossing now, which is nice. Like to see some frogs. Maybe I'll get out and look at a frog here in a minute. If one is in the road and isn't moving. No, some people love frogs. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like all of them. But when I do these, I'm looking for snakes. Yeah, exactly. I'm looking for some snakes. I don't know either, but it's possibly. You know, it is what it is. I mean, we like to get upset about things we have no control over. Some of them eat pizza on these Florida back roads. Hey, you know what? You're right about that. I think that is... Ooh, there's a frog right here. Let's see what this little frog is right here. All right. Oh, it's not a frog. It's a katydid. Look at that. That little Katie did. Big fat Katie did. Nice. I thought it was a frog. It was hopping and it was little and green. It's not easy being green, being the color of the leaves. The sound look for egg laying is when temperature in 62 degrees Fahrenheit, with the land surface temperature about 86. Nice. I know that people like look at the vernal ponds and stuff for them. We don't have that many vernal ponds here. We have mostly like little ditches and stuff where frogs will lay eggs in. All right, come on. Is that another frog right here in the road? Oh, nope, another katydid. There's a lot of katydids on the road. Let's see. There was a frog right there. Next time a frog jumps in the road, I'm going to get out and take a look at it. There's a lot of green tree frogs. 3 days this past week, caught one snake trying to get independent. Two that came to the door both had 3 guinea eggs, and each already saw cheese. If he ate the dock, that would be wild. If ate that dock would be wild. What? I'm confused on that sentence. All right, let's go with snakes. There's frogs on the road. Why are there not snakes right now? Ooh, there's an owl that just popped on the side of the road right here. Let's see. I get him in the camera. Oh, look at the owl right there. Oh, he just flew off. Damn it. There was a barred owl that landed on something on the side of the road right there. Yeah, I was able to quickly get a zoom in, but as soon as I actually got zoomed in on him, he flew off. Grabbed and go. All right. Let's see, that is concrete. Okay, we're getting to where I'm about to turn around, so. Could have been a thylacine. All right. Come on, snakes, I know you're here. Sorry, Doc said, nice, let's go on, do a tray, a tagline. Tray channel, his tagline says, before he starts to eat the MREs. Oh, gotcha. MREs is in like the rations of food that soldiers get. Gotcha. Okay. I know that the snakes are going to want to come out, and I'm going to be here to touch them. Just want to tickle them a little bit. Just a little Gucci goo. No need to worry, snakes. I just want to touch you just a little bit. He even ate a heart attack from the Civil War. Jesus Christ. That does not sound like a good time. There's still hardtack from the Civil War around? Or did he make it? It's not a bad touch snake. Exactly. It's not that inappropriate. Just a quick little tickle. If you let me touch you, you'll live. Oh, it's over 180. Jeez, so what is the original stuff? How did he get his hands on that? And how did someone let him eat it? Eating 180-year-old food? Jesus. I used to shoot a cannon for work and we made the rounds on site. Wait, and we made the rounds. Oh, you made the rounds for the cannon. That could have gone in a lot of different directions. You made the rounds on site. Okay. You mean the rounds as in like what shoots out of the cannon. Gotcha. That makes things a little better. Not here to judge you, but you know, you could have worded that a little better. Yeah, like big blanks. You like shooting big blanks, huh? People knew the channel and had some passed down through their family, so they sent it to them. Oh, gotcha. Wow. That's interesting. I don't know if I'd be brave enough to try that. Another katydid in the road. Man, I thought those were frogs whenever I'd pass them, because I've seen those out here before, but they're just freaking katydids. Hey man, I did canon demos and music demos. Whatever you say. Whatever you say. Whatever makes you sleep better at night. Oh my God. Your mind's straight and so. No. You're not going to tell me what to do. You are not going to tell me what to do, ever. Think however I want. Do you keep any snakes as pets? Do you recommend it? Sometimes. I worked at Fort George. Nice. Sometimes I keep snakes. It depends on what they are. I have a few snakes that I have found and kept. I view it a lot like you would for fishing. Ooh, there's a snake in the road right there. Look at that. We got a crosser. And what is that? Is that a corn snake? Ooh, I think we got ourselves a corn. And we do have ourselves a pretty little corn snake. And it's alive. Look at that. Look at that beautiful corn. The crazy thing is, and yes, I come across pigs a lot. The thing is about this snake right here is that this is the same kind of snake that people keep as pets in pet stores. I have one, actually. Ooh. Let's see, is he going to stand up for us at all? No? Oh, this guy looks like he's ready to bite. He's a beautiful corn snake. That is what we're talking about. That is what we're talking about. Finally, I got one on live that isn't smashed in the middle of the road. All right. Let's see. If you're calm with snakes, oftentimes they'll let you pick them up without them biting you. Oh, nope, but he bit me instead. Sometimes you can get them to not bite. So that's why they call them corn snakes. See the belly? And the belly looks like Indian maize or Indian corn. Like he gave me a little kiss right there. Beautiful. All right. No, he's hissing and pissing. Oh, he's rattling his tail at me. But look at that belly. Looks like Indian maize. No, he's not pooping on me. Corns don't do that as much. I'm going to let him go real quick. Get onto it. Well, there we go. We got our first snake of the night. Well, he did pee on me a little bit. You can see it's wet. But he gave me that little souvenir, a little kiss. And there we go. Beautiful. Okay. First snake of the night, or second snake of the night. And it was a good one. And it's nice and cool out right now. There's a little bit of a breeze going. All right. He's hissing and pissing. Exactly. Very bright. Yes. So we got ourselves a corn. That is what we're talking about. Oh man. How do I explain this? His musk smells like, it smells like dirt. It smells like celery. You know, the smell that celery gives off whenever you break into it. Very earthy. That's what his musk smells like, which is kind of weird thing to say, but that's the best I can come up with. It just smells like earth. So not that bad of a musk smell. Also, the connection was great and the video was super clear. Great, that's what I like to hear. We'll give this road a couple more passes before we go on to the main one. now that it's 9:14. Yeah, we'll probably go and do a couple more passes on this road. And you sniffing snake pee? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Give me the good stuff. That's what I'm talking about. Give me that snake pee. All right. I wouldn't call the sneaker leaker. I should make a nice short later. Yeah, maybe. I got to go through and because I'm not recording this off of my computer. I got to go through and screen record it for later, and it's a little bit more of a hassle, but I'll definitely do something. The bite's not infectious. Not really. I mean, it's a good idea to wash your hands with soap and water after you get bit by a snake. It definitely is. Can there be an infection? Any time that you get bit by anything, of course there could be something, but I've been bit by a lot of snakes and I have never had an issue with infections. I don't really get sick and I don't really ever get infections, even when I get bad cuts and stuff. So I don't know that, to be quite honest. But if you get bit by a snake, definitely wash it with soap and water just to be on the safe side. But nah, you don't really have to worry too much about that. Nope, it's not like getting bit by a person or a dog. I don't know if it's because they're reptiles and it's just a whole different set of creepy crawlies they carry, but and also if I get bit by a python and it drew a lot of blood and the teeth dug deep and everything, sure, you probably would have to worry a bit more than that little corn snake. You clip and then turn the clip into a short. I have no idea how YouTube works, but it sounds like it could work. I mean, maybe I could probably. I definitely have a way that I do it that seems to work. I literally just will wait until I get home onto the computer and screen record my computer the parts that I want for it, and it's just easier to work with that way. All right, let's see if anything else is crossing. Any recommendations on what kind make the best pet? Well, what I just picked up, the corn snakes. Corn snakes are great for snake pets. They're easy to take care of. I mean, they get 5-6 feet, so they do get kind of big, but they're really not that bad. You need a little bit more, eventually you need something small because they do like to climb. I mean, people like ball pythons. I mean, the ball pythons can be good pets too, but they tend to require a little bit more than people realize they require. I have a person bite horror story, and they left me with a scar. What? Oh my God. Human mouths are not clean in the hospital if you get random bites. Yeah, I would hope someone random biting you, that's kind of weird. I need another beer. Cheers. Nice. But yeah, a human bite story? God, sounds terrible. But yeah, corn snakes are great for snake pets. Ball pythons are pretty good. They don't get as long, but they require a little bit more attention than people usually recommend for them, if you're gonna do it the right way. So those are the two really. Ooh, there's a snake right here. Looks like a ribbon snake. There we go. Ooh, and this one's a yellow one. All right, here. Go real quick. All right. Okay, he just launched himself. All right, that's 3, and he didn't poop on me, so that's nice. 3 snakes. All right, let's see what else is out and about. We got 2 ribbons and a corn snake. Yeah, the diversity in colors with snakes is really cool too. Like that yellow ribbon snake is usually what the colors of a ribbon snake are. Like even when you get out west and everything, they tend to be yellow. Ooh, there's an owl in the road. It looks like the same one from earlier. What are you after? Look at him just standing in the road. What is he looking at? What is he looking at? Look at him. I think he's after a little bug or something. What? Look at it. Look at him. That's so cool. Look at that barred owl. That's why I call them barred owls. They have the stripes down them like bars. Let's see. Ooh, ooh, ooh. No? Okay. Well, that was cool. He jumped down and ate a bug or something in the road. That same one from earlier. Ooh, I think... I could be wrong. This could just be a pine needle. But there was a little tiny thing in the road that could be a little tiny snake. And no, it's just a pine needle. See that right there? I thought that could have been a little red belly snake or something. Let's see. Can I get this owl to come down? Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Sometimes I can get them to reply to me. Maybe when I turn back around, he'll be back in the road looking for stuff. Yeah, drunk girls biting is it sounds a lot more fun than it probably was. Oh, there was a frog, and he's already gone. I said I would go out and look for a frog, but all these frogs are like already out of the road by the time I get up on them, so. By a predator call. What do you mean? That was my predator call. Like the sound of a wounded rabbit. Oh, yeah, I could. Definitely could. I was going to get my, let's see. Oh, wasn't it fun for me? Thank you. See, that chick was lucky it wasn't here in the U.S., especially not here in Florida. Because, any random person come out and biting me, oh, we're going to have some big problems. Yeah, I usually, I can get some owls to sometimes call back to me. It's like, you know how when people get drunk, they want to fight the biggest person around. I hate being tall. They always want to fight. True. I just never really went out in public that much, to be quite honest. It's not that I'm afraid to go out in public. I just I don't like being around a bunch of random people I don't know. I just never really got into going out and partying and stuff like that. Or being around a bunch of drunk people never really was my style. If I were to drink, I'd just do it at home, to be quite honest with you. Not that I haven't been out. It's just never really my thing. All right, 9:24. If you just touch her, I'm 27, 5'11". She was 21, 5'1". Bar was just, oh, gotcha. Oh, I feel old. I'm turning 29 at the end of the month, and I'm not looking forward to that. Because then, after that, it's 30. I'm just too close to it. I'm not looking forward to that at all. But time goes on, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. If you guys are not part of the Discord yet, and you're chilling in chat, go check that out. That would be pretty cool. The link is in the description below. I'm trying to pedal that as much as I can. let's see, that was my last pass on this road. So, or this is, you know, when I get to the end of it, we're gonna go out to the main road. So let's hope that something crosses the path again. We got 2 ribbon snakes and a corn snake. And you can see, I don't know how well you guys could see it on camera, but like when I pulled up to that corn snake, I knew right off the bat that it was probably a corn snake because of not only how wide it was, like it wasn't like super skinny, but how long it was, and then also the color. It just reflects like a bright color rather than like if it was a dark snake, it would be like darker. You can see that it was black. And there's only like if every once in a while you'll come up to one and you'll be like, that color reflection is not something that I know, or like the width. Oh, there's a periscoping snake right over here. And I think it's a ribbon because of how skinny it is. Oh, is that a garter? That's a garter. Heck yeah. Oh, that is a blue striped garter. That is what I am talking about. That is a blue stripe. Hey, bro. Don't bite me. I know you want to. Here, let me get you, because garter snakes are venomous. Now, they're rear-fanged, and it's not enough to hurt you, but look at that garter snake. Look at that blue. Dude, that is a pretty snake. And I think I am going to actually keep this one. Blue striped garter. Yeah, look how pretty blue that is, too. I think this guy is going to come home with me this time. Not many snakes do, but that guy right there. And he's smaller, too. Yeah, look at how beautiful that thing is. That's what I'm talking about. I thought it was a ribbon snake, because it was periscoping. But a nice smaller, look how blue that thing is. Hopefully it's coming in as blue for you guys as it is to me. But a Florida blue garter, heck yeah. All right, man, I'm glad. I usually, most of the time when I come across garter snakes, they're unfortunately past tense. Oh. Cool. All right. They're like brown where we are. They look like a turquoise. Yeah, so here in Florida, we have the blue stripes, which, as I said before, there's a couple of places down in the South where you can get them, but most of the ones in Florida are blue like that. And that's, I mean, they get way bluer than that as well. Like, I mean, like fluorescent blue. They get very, very blue. And I want one as a pet. I've always, you know, especially with the blue ones, they're very pretty. I like them a lot. Work at the golf course in Michigan. Every time I see a snake, they immediately take off. They don't seem to be concerned when you approach them. What's the difference? So at night, I mean, don't get me wrong. Plenty of snakes will just get off the road as soon as they see you. Not every single snake just stands still. But at night, snakes tend to be like, they're still using their vision, but because it's dark, they're more relying on their other senses. This is my understanding of it. I could be wrong on this, but this is my thinking. And when you shine a light in an animal's face, there's a good chance that it's not going to, like, it's like getting frozen in place like a deer. When you shine a deer, oftentimes they're mesmerized by the light and will just sit there. And I'm pretty sure the snakes are doing roughly the same thing. Now, not all of them do. As I said, there's plenty of snakes that'll run immediately when you get them, certain species. But now, if I find the same snakes during the day, there's a good chance that they're going to try to book it. But sometimes they will just stand still. You know, they may not just be really giving a shit that you're there, to be quite honest. And the roads feel good. The roads are warm. And sometimes they literally just don't care. That's my understanding. I could be wrong, but I think a lot of it just has to do with most of the time when the snake is crossing the road. Unless you drive by it really quick, you know, sometimes they'll freak out and they'll book it, but oftentimes they'll just sit there. I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of times where I've come across snakes in the wild like that just sit there, and then there's some that as soon as they see you, they're gone. It just depends on the species. So, I mean, that garter snake, he saw me walking up to him, and he tried to get off the road. So, I mean, he was periscoping, which is when they just stand straight up and look around. Should I go back on this road one more time? Quick vote. Should I move on to the next spot, or should I go back on that road one more time? What do you guys think? Real quick before I do this. Give me a shout in the comment section. What do you think I should do? Or what would you like me to do? Hit this road one more time, go back and forth on it, or go to the next spot. I'm going to slow down until I get an answer. Next spot or this road? I don't care either way. Go somewhere else. Okay. We're going to go somewhere else. Connection is bad. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Well, so, and what I said earlier about, like, I rarely ever keep snakes. Sometimes I do, but every once in a while I get one that, as long as it's a legal thing to do, like, I view it like fishing. Some people only go fishing if they think they're going to keep stuff, which is understandable, but I like catching and releasing, and every once in a while I'll keep stuff. But there are limits to those things for a reason. Garter snakes ever play worm like some other snakes do sometimes once in a while? Not really, not as much as other snakes do, but they can. Most of the time they'd rather bite than anything else, from what I've noticed. The garter snakes are not afraid to bite, and garter snakes are rear fang venomous. They use it to pop toads, their rear fangs, and some people have an allergic reaction to it, but it's usually not that big of a deal. But yeah, I don't keep every snake I see. Like that corn snake. I could have kept that corn snake. Nah, I have a corn snake already. I don't want to just collect a bunch of stuff just because I have it, blah, blah, blah. But that garter snake, I don't see them as much, even though they are common. I just don't see them a lot where I am. So if I find one and it's pretty and blue like that, I think I might have to take that guy home. Just every once in a while. Not a common thing. But. All right, let's see what else crosses the road. Can we get something good? Can we get a rat snake to up that diversity of species? Yeah, well, it is a beautiful snake. And again, here in Florida, we're very fortunate to have the blue ones. And I've seen them way brighter than that. Like the entire snake will be almost like a fluorescent blue. That one's pretty blue. Is the audio cutting in and out, or is it just me? Hello. I mean, it's showing on my end that it's going through, so I don't know. I don't know if anyone else is having the same issues you are, but everything is connected properly, so I don't know what the issue is. It's not been cutting out for me. Gotcha. Sometimes I had a little bit of audio issues when I was trying to figure out this mic. I didn't realize I turned the decibels down at one point, and I just went a minute ago. Gotcha. Everything, I think he's not 100% service. Yeah, at that point it was kind of hard for me to be in service, but I should be very little bits. Just small pockets of bad reception, I think. It hasn't been bad. Cool. Okay. Yeah, the rest of the way should be good service. That little bit back there gets a little weird with the reception, but from here on out, I shouldn't have too much of an issue with reception. It's literally just at the end of that road gets a little choppy, but everything from here on out will be fine. And I definitely got to get those antenna boosters, the cell phone boosters. That's definitely like one of my next bigger investments, but you're still cutting out for me, so maybe I should restart. That's weird. I mean, what I'm saying is that there might be some areas that aren't as great with the service, but there's not going to be like cuts in the whole thing. It might get a little blurry every once in a while, but it's not going to completely cut out and have me reconnect or anything like that. That's what I mean. Yeah, I definitely got to get a service booster. I'll probably have to do that after the baby comes, because there's going to be a time where I'm not going to be able to do this as much in the near future. Better with a restart. Gotcha. There's going to be times where I'm not going to be able to do this for a little bit because having the baby come in July, and got to be home with the baby, so I won't be able to get out as much. But I'm gonna hopefully, once I get my class 3 wildlife permit, I'll actually be able to sell invasive species. So I'm going to do some of these trips where I go down to like South Florida and catch a bunch of invasives and, you know, sell them, try to get them out of the environment. So, and then, you know, if I come across some stuff and you guys want them, and as long as it's legal for you guys to have them, I'll be able to sell you some stuff if you guys want them. So I think that would be pretty cool. But again, that's just gonna have to wait until I get that permit in, which hopefully will be within the next few weeks if I get accepted for it, which I should get accepted for it. I don't have anything on my record or anything. Is there a car coming? Yeah, there is a car coming. There's lights coming. So I'm gonna wait for this thing to pass by real quick. I need to get my permit for guppies here. Guppies. That's cool. Not gonna lie, that's pretty sweet. Let this car pass. That's what I'm gonna do soon. Nice. I mean, I can get permits for selling some stuff like that too, cycling a tank. Nice. I know there's a lot of people who do that, and they'll go down and they'll go like dip netting, and they'll catch fish and sell them as well. But with all the invasive reptile species here, especially like the anoles and the agamas and a bunch of other little lizards, we got amoebas, which are a lot like tegus, but they don't get as big and they have green backs to them, and rainbow whiptails, which are beautiful. Like, if you look up a rainbow whiptail, you will not believe that those are the colors that are on a lizard. And literally, they call them a rainbow whiptail for a reason. They have a rainbow on them. But I know a few spots for those. Night anoles, brown anoles. Shoot, the lizards that I see around my house every single day, they're invasive. Or I should say non-native. And I'm gonna go collect those, and people use them for feeders or to keep them as pets, depending on where they live. I'm gonna pull off the side of the road. There's a car coming, of course. But that's the goal with that. And so if I can spend my time collecting a bunch of those guys, then I'll be excited for that. Oh, there is a ambulance coming down this road. The lights are coming up behind me. I don't know if you can see them yet. So I am off the side of the road for this ambulance. It's about to come. I felt better knowing I kept a wild caught for over 3 years. What? Of what? Of what kind of? What wild caught of what? If you don't mind me asking. Geez, there's another car coming. Of course, as soon as I get on this road, there's just a ton of people driving on this road. Let this guy pass, and then I'll keep on going. Wait, what was it that was wild caught? Are you talking about the guppies? Oh, the brown anoles. Gotcha. Yeah, there's a ton of. I literally have. I don't know how many I have. I do have a couple of green anoles in my yard too, which are the native ones. But the non-native brown anoles are everywhere too. And there are a never-ending supply of them. So I am looking forward to reducing those populations, and maybe I'll go and try to captive raise some green anoles and release them, so that, maybe we can get some green anoles back into the, their native range where the brown anoles used to be. If I can go and catch a bunch of them, we'll see. Man, dude, turn those brights off, my guy. Damn. Of course it's a truck. I love trucks. Don't get me wrong. I would much rather drive a truck than the car I have now. But dude, some of these trucks, an Asian grass lizard, 2.5 years, but my Noel had a freak out after 2.5 years, randomly attacked her. Jeez. It's not good. Yeah, we get the red anoles. So they're just called the fire morphs. But they're brown anoles that are just like a deep red, and you mostly get them down south. But like, people pay top dollar for those things. I don't know why. They'll pay like $200-$300 for a red brown anole. Hey, you know what? If people will pay for it, people will pay for it. I'm fine with that. Pull off as these. There's a bunch of cars coming, of course. It's a bit frustrating. It's the only issue with coming down this main road, which I know there's snakes on these main roads, but like, Jesus Christ, the amount of cars. There's too many people in Florida. Bring back less population. I got 2 more cars coming. Actually, 3 more cars coming. They sell the redder ones for like $50 at chain pet stores. Really? $50? Huh, I've seen them online for a lot more than that. That's weird. But yeah, you know, it just depends on the species, but I can run into I mean, there's so many non-native stuff that I can run into that. Ooh, that was nothing. There's another car behind me, of course. I got a little bit until I have to turn off. Online is usually better quality than chain stores, I'm assuming. If it's like a major chain store, then yes. That at least that tends to be the deal. I mean, it just depends on what it is. Like, if you go to a major chain store and you go to buy like a veiled chameleon as an example, I mean, those are just like milled animals where they're just bred in mass and, you know, whatever. But then if you get them from like a local pet store, 9 times out of 10, yeah, PetSmart, yeah, exactly the same sort of thing here. We got PetSmart, Pets Unlimited. There's a couple of other ones, but Petco. But a lot of those animals are like like they'll have like fancy leopard gecko or fancy ball python, and they're just a fancy bearded dragon. It's just, yeah, it's just a bunch of, it's like a puppy mill. It's the same sort of thing. If you go to like a local place, a lot of times they are wild caught. It just depends on what it is, but they tend to get from local breeders instead. Like if you go to any PetSmart, Niagara, exotics with local and they're bred, yeah, you know, they tend to be better from the local shops because they know that you're going to get, you know, a bunch of inbred animals at these other places, so they try to do better. They try to, at least. Like if you go to a PetSmart, I guarantee you that if you go in there and you look at their veiled chameleons, the veiled chameleon will be like, it'll have like almost see-through legs. Like the legs will be like almost white. For what? Oh, there's a few motorcycles coming by. That's what that was. They'll have literally like albino or see-through legs, and they either call them piebald or they call them something weird with their legs. I don't know what exactly it is, but they all have it because they come from the same freaking breeder. And they just breed the same one. They make it seem like it's a fancy thing. Missing calcium, go catch it. Yeah, I can go catch. Oh, chameleons is another one. We have a ton of chameleons down here I can go catch. No, it's not because they're missing calcium. It's like literally a different type of breed or phase or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, it's a genetic thing, but they all come from the same supplier. And they all have that same, like, you know, they're just mass imported. And the thing about chameleons is that they breed a lot, and they breed frequently, they breed young. No, that was just a rope in the road. Inbred lizards. Yeah, well, I mean, reptiles, it's not good to inbreed anything. Reptiles tend to do better than mammals with inbreeding, and that's oftentimes how you get a lot of the different morphs with, like, especially like ball pythons. The reason why there's so many morphs of ball pythons, or like anything for that, like another great example would be palmetto corn snakes. They're white with like brown spots on them. They're beautiful. You see king snakes in your area. I have seen a few up here. Have unfortunately been dead, and I have seen a live one in South Florida. So we do have them, but they're very rare. Definitely for snakes, I get it. Yeah, but the the palmetto corn snakes, most of them, like a quarter of them, I believe, are born with what's called pop eye, because they're so, oh, there's another ambulance coming up behind me. They're so inbred that they have a genetic thing where like their eyes literally pop out of their skull and they're born with it. And people will use them because they can't sell them. They'll survive just fine. But people will sell them or not sell them. They'll use them for breeding. So that gene keeps on getting passed down, but a lot of their babies don't have it. So they tend not to care and they'll just keep on breeding them. It's kind of unethical, but that's the way a lot of them do it. Same thing with ball pythons with like, what is it called? The, God, what variety? The spider gene. They have like a neurological disease where they'll spin around and like do all sorts of weird stuff. And there's a lot of controversy with that, but people keep on breeding them and there's a good chance they'll have that neurological disease, and it's because they're so inbred, unfortunately. But that's just something that's common with a lot of snakes and a lot of breeders, is that they'll do that. I'm gonna pull over again. There's another person coming. When will I get away from all these people? People need to stop driving on the road when I'm looking for snakes. And we got a guy with a boat. We got another guy coming up, and then we got a third guy coming up. Once that third guy passes, we'll get off. That's terrible and disgusting, making monsters. I mean, but for fish, it can be good or bad. Yeah, it's the same sort of thing. Like, they do it because if you want, why would anyone want that? It's like watching deer with CWD. Yeah, I mean, I get it. And it's partially because it's the same thing with puppies. They do it because they want to pass the wanted genes around, and especially if there's not many of that species. Or like you get, a snake that has that certain like it's a recessive for something. Well, they want to get this one particular type of gene showing, so they'll breed them with their kids or something like that, so that the chances of them not having to spend more money to get more of those snakes, but they also pass that gene around so they get more of the one they're looking for without having to spend as much money. That's usually what the issue is. If fancy goldfish are select bred, look at the way the inbreeding genetic traits. Yeah, exactly. And what it does, it just ends up hurting the gene pool in the future and causing these animals to have major issues. But snakes aren't the only ones. People who breed snakes, and I mean people who breed animals in general, tend to have that issue. You want to make more money, so you inbreed the things you want, and it gets passed down, and it's unfortunate, but that's just what happens. Puppies, the same thing happens with them. But again, what are you going to do? People will keep on buying them, so the money is there. People will buy it. With a lot of these animals, the money is definitely there. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it in the first place. And then there's like a big stigma against like catching wild animals. And I can understand that to a degree. It depends on what it is. If an animal is wild and it has a low population in the wild, do your best to not catch those or, use them. Do your very best. Like that's understandable. But, there's armadillo. And he didn't run in front of me, which is good. But, there's a lot more armadillos recently. It must have warmed up enough for them to start wanting to move around at night. But yeah, if you have the opportunity to breed without wild animals, awesome. But sometimes it definitely is needed to A, increase the gene pool, and B, like if the population is sustainable, it's not really a big deal. And especially if the animals aren't like normally pets, it's not usually a big deal. Yeah, armadillo kick. It's usually not that big of a deal if you get like a snake that isn't normally kept in the pet trade, just because like there's not a bunch of people going out there and trying to catch them all. But part of the unfortunate thing with like snakes, as an example, is that people kill them in the wild just because it's a snake. Definitely understand that, as long as you check the animal's health. Yeah, absolutely. There's steps, but it just has to be done the right way. And there's nothing wrong with catching and keeping a wild animal as long as you do things the right way, because everything at one point was a wild animal. Oh, there's some deer. There's a lot of stuff out right now, at least walking out on the roads. I just would like there to be some snakes as well. I've seen corn snakes out here. Besides that, not too much. Got to check for parasites and illnesses. Yep. I mean, you got to do that with even captive animals too, especially if they're from like a facility or something. Those kind of things can go around quick. You just got to be careful with anything you do. Eventually it's domesticated. Yeah, well, a lot less animals are domesticated than people realize. There's not, like, technically speaking, cats are put under the domesticated branch, but house cats are really not domesticated. It's like I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard to quantify, to be quite honest, but they're not as domesticated as people realize. They could do just fine out on their own. A lot of animals will eventually make it on there. I don't know. It's a weird thing. I mean, my cat is my boss. Oh, you got the cat poop disease, the toxoplasmosis. You got that little parasite in your brain telling you to sniff your cat's pee. I'm kidding, but I don't hate cats. Just, you know, not a cat person. Real cat populations are huge in North America. Yeah, they're huge around the world, unfortunately. Hey, like in France, I don't think it's as high now, but there was a point where it was like 9 out of 10 people had toxoplasmosis. They had a huge problem with it. People don't realize the type of health issues that it can cause. I've heard armadillos carry a lot of diseases. Any truth to that? Their body temperatures are lower than a lot of mammals, and they can carry leprosy. I don't know the exact nature of that. I've heard from some people they can't pass it to humans. I've heard some people they can. I think it had to do with, like, you have to eat it or something like that. I don't know. I'll actually have to look into that. I'll make a video about that tomorrow, because I don't know the exact answer to that, but they are known to carry a type of leprosy. Yeah, the French definitely have a mental issue. Hey, aren't you Canadians part French or something like that? Ain't that the Quebecois or whatever it's called, the French Canada? Something like that. Like, the laws are weird about the language and everything. I know it's not all of Canada, but pretty sure there's some Canadian oh no, we got a Frenchie in here. We got a snail. We got a frog in the chat. No, we have a French province. Province. And they are dirt. Oof. We got some fire in the chat. Je n'ai pas français. I don't know it. I don't know what that means. Nor will I. It's our second language. So you speak French? Is that what it is? No habla y Frencho. Of bar German heritage. Gotcha. They try to leave our country every year. What do you mean? They try to secede? Is that what you mean? Don't make us do it again. We're taught it for 9 years. Jesus Christ. We got a car pulled over on the side of the road up here. Please don't let there be snakes right here. Dang. What is going on here? Is that a truck with a bunch of... Oh, it's just an old guy. Kinda don't feel comfortable with that. And he wasn't asking for help. I always feel weird about that. I want to help people if they need help, but I also don't trust people. Seal. Well, yeah, what's seal in French? Huh? I know this one. It would be like a Gap in Canada if they left, but they claim English people are destroying the culture. Huh. Destroying the culture. Why not just move back to France? You know, like where French people like live. Wouldn't that be like going back to their... I don't get that. I mean, we get the same thing here with people like pissed off that other, you know, people speak different languages. I never understood that. But we're forced to learn. Oh, gotcha. It's our land. Yeah, I don't understand the whole, like, people get mad that people speak Spanish here and stuff like that. And it's just like, okay, you know, whatever. People are allowed to speak other languages. It's when people are like, I don't know. They get all like pure about it. It's basically French settlers versus British settlers, years and years, and still better. Yeah. Well, actually, it's the natives' land. It's nobody's land. It's whoever conquered it last. Unfortunately, that's how the world works. Home field advantage. It's how the world works. Every place that people live now had other people or things that lived on the land before that, and they were conquered. And I'm not saying that that means that the other place, the other... Ooh, that's a snake right there. I don't know if it was dead or not. Got this car coming. Let's see what happens. I don't know if... Okay, I still see it. I don't know if the snake is dead or not. Let's see. What is... It's small, whatever it is. Again, I don't know if this thing is dead or not. Is that a snake? Wow. That's what I stopped for. Why did I think there was a snake? Is there a snake? Or am I going crazy? Was that literally it? That was it. Wow. I got out of the car for that. I thought it was a snake. It was a piece of cardboard. God, I'm dumb sometimes. Can you guys hear the cicadas? The cicadas are loud right now. All right. We got a car coming. I'll let that car pass real quick. Man, I thought that was a snake. Maddie, unfortunately, from the little I do know about it, that's not true, because I've watched a few documentaries on that whole situation, and they'd gone back because the people were saying that they had mass graves under these schools, and the only proof they had was that they used like LiDAR or something, and they were saying, oh, here they are, and whenever they've dug, there have been none that have come up. So from my understanding, there was the claim that there were these mass graves, but that's actually not the case at all. And it just kind of got dropped. Now, man, certain things trick you. I get tricked by banana peels all the time, but I can identify bungees at 65 miles an hour. I agree. Oh yeah, everyone has a dark past, unfortunately. I agree with you. I got some cars coming up on me right now. Once this car goes by, I get another one coming as well. This one, I'm gonna move up to this spot right up here because it's just a little bit better for me to pull off on. There we go. A little road. Yeah, every country's got a dark past. Everyone has a dark past. Dude, I have these schools in my area and it's been pretty admitted even by the government, so why would you admit something they didn't do? Because they feel bad. I hate to be that person. Have you found anything cool? Got a corn snake, got 2 ribbon snakes, and a blue striped garter snake. Because the government feels bad, and the government of Canada is especially anal about admitting their wrongdoings. And I'm German family, we have a very dark past. And that's the thing, is like, from my understanding of the entire situation, I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm 100% right, but from what I have seen on this, it was made a big deal. The government admitted it because like there wasn't really much. It's a very difficult and sad situation, and that the proof was people using LiDAR to go find anomalies under these schools, and they found what they considered anomalies. But as soon as they started digging, from my understanding, not one single bone has been recovered to back these claims up. And instead of talking about it, it's pushed aside, because then if you go and say, well, this actually isn't the case, well, then you're going back on, like, it's a whole messed up situation. No, and I'm sure they did. I'm not saying that that didn't happen. I'm just saying that, like, the mass graves thing is, from what I have seen from it, not, maybe there's some evidence to prove otherwise, but I don't think there's been a single bone recovered from these quote-unquote mass grave sites. And that's what I'm saying, is that it seems to be a little bit more, there's more going on there than what has been said. Because you make that original claim, and then you don't talk about it again, that's all anyone's ever going to talk about. But then as soon as you go and look at, well, have they actually ever found those mass graves and dug them up and give them proper burials and all that? Have they? Well, that's dumb PR move to admit you killed a ton of people and didn't. So am I like arguing just think they might want to restrict things? I mean, I don't know what the exact reasoning is. It's a weird situation. I don't know everything on it, but I've watched a couple of videos on this situation, and from what I have seen, there has not been a single grave recovered from this. And if that's the case, well, those things that they claim are mass graves, well, unless you have proof that they actually are, besides going over it with LiDAR and saying we have anomalies, well, that's a bit of trickery in my eyes. I'm not arguing, I agree, it's weird. No, I don't, and that's the thing, is I'm just pointing out that, like, it's the same thing with anything that has to do with the science related thing. You can claim anything you want. You can also say that something is the way it is, like what we were talking earlier with all the global warming stuff. Like, they could have said for a long time that Florida's going to be underwater by this year, and then it hasn't happened, and you're just freaking people out. But it's, I don't even want to say it's part of the narrative, because that's kind of a cop-out. But from my understanding and from what I've seen from Canada, yes, correlation does not equal causation. Exactly. It's the same sort of thing. If you make a bold claim, and we know that terrible things have happened in the past, and Canada in particular has gone a whole 180 degrees with capitulating to the terrible wrongs of the past. And I don't disagree with the reasons why. But then when a Native American group says, we have proof that there's mass graves underneath these schools, you guys did this to us, they're like, oh crap, that's terrible, we're so sorry, we shouldn't have done that, blah, 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 blah. But then when they dig it up, those things they called mass graves weren't mass graves, but it's not talked about because of whatever, I don't know the exact reason it wouldn't be, but it looks bad PR regardless. Well, then you're probably not going to hear much about it, because the big sexy headline was, look how terrible things were in the past and you guys need to apologize. That was the big sexy thing. And I hate to use those terms, but that's the terms I'm going to use. I got another car, of course. But if you look it up, and I'll look it up later just to be on the safe side, as far as I'm aware, not a single one of those things that have been dug up have provided any evidence of an actual mass grave. So, like, it's like, okay, think of, the group took the science they wanted for their claims, and so the government jumped the gun to admit it, probably to not seem like the worst people, not offend the native population with the info. Exactly. Could it have happened? I'm not saying it didn't. Of course it could have happened. There's a lot of those instances where things like that have happened. I mean, you can look at the mass graves that are in places like the insane asylums from back in the day. Like, there's unmarked graves everywhere. It's 100% something that happened. I'm not surprised Oak Island and Canada, we haven't found a thing. And this car is coming, and once that passes, hopefully that's it. Nothing's really moving right now, so I'm hoping that allowing a little bit of time to pass and let this car pass, this stuff will start moving all at once. That would be nice. That's what I'm hoping for, is that all the stuff just starts moving at once, because that tends to be what happens. Wait, the History Channel show, that's in Canada. I think it's in like, it's like an island off Canada or something like that. Come on. I hate when they are on the straightaway like this, and it looks like the car is closer. Why is he shining his brights at me? Is he letting me know that I'm... Yeah, it's just off the coast of Newfoundland. Oh, I didn't realize it was that far north. Isn't Newfoundland kind of far up there? Hey man, I'm super easygoing and not like full on brainworm, so I'll take your word for it. Okay, bro, stop flashing me, man. Well, that's good that you're not full on brainworm, because a lot of people are. And I've definitely eased up a little bit. It's just a bunch of drunk newfies digging all. Well, I see it kind of like, do you guys see the provinces as states like we do here? Or do you see them as like they're, or do you almost see them like a separate country? Because like, when we think about the other states here in the United States, there are some of them that we consider to be, oh God, like different states or different countries. Yes to which one? Because we see all the other states as they're part of the United States, they're part of America, but they're basically a separate, oh, gotcha. It's like its own separate thing almost, not like Europe, like America for sure. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, we view the other states the same way, but then some are, oh, that's actually America, and that's actually not America. It's like its own different thing. Like, you know, people like to go back and forth with that. Like, Florida and California could be they're basically on the opposite ends of the spectrum. Man, there's a lot of motorcycles out tonight. Goofies are drunks. Quebec is annoying Frenchies. Yeah, I mean, I call everybody who's from north of well, north of Florida, I'll call them Yankees, even though they're not, unless they're from like a certain area, but they're all Yankees to me. Ontario is an American wannabe. Gotcha. Okay, so we view the things kind of the same way. I always love to hear about how much all these other countries hate America. It's so funny to me to see those, the videos about people shitting all over America. I just laugh at it for the most part. You think I care of how much you think America sucks? That's fine. But we group them like you guys do with the East Coast, America. Gotcha, Calvin. Gotcha. Okay. Separate but equal. Oh, that is something in there. What the fuck was that? I'm gonna turn around. There was something weird in the road. I couldn't tell what that was. We don't hate Americans in Canada. Let's see. What is this? Oh, it's a freaking strap. Let this car pass by. Oh, we don't, but we're definitely told to travel as Canadians. Clearly, gotcha. Like in anywhere but North America. We watch all your TV. Gotcha. Yeah. I don't think we. I mean, we watch some Canadian TV. There's some stuff. Yeah. There's some stuff like, I mean, Letterkenny and Trailer Park Boys. I mean, there's definitely things that come out of Canada that we will watch but not even realize it's from Canada. Like, we're not like, oh, we watch Canadian TV. It sounds like a blank accent in American TV. Oh, gotcha. Man, this car is far away. Yeah, when we watch shows and TV and movies and stuff, Eastern Canada or Northern Canada, gotcha. When we watch that stuff, honestly, a lot of times we don't even realize it's Canadian until later on, especially like actors and stuff. Like we some of the big ones, we know they're Canadian just because we know they are. But like, it's not like pushed. Like no one, like Ryan Reynolds or what's his name? There's a couple of other ones, but like except for a few words, we sound pretty blank, and we also have an uplift at the end of our sentences. Oh yeah, very true. I mean, for the most part, I can tell a Canadian accent. I can usually tell pretty quickly, relatively, where somebody is from or the area that they're from. For sure. And this guy just passed somebody. Okay. There's two vehicles coming, and I'm about to be back on the road. Drake, Justin Bieber. Hey, Stu Cool, how are you today? Tell the accent, what province Drake has a Toronto fake rap accent. Well, for the most part, you can pretty easily tell where somebody's from in the United States as well. I'm pretty good at telling the accents apart for the most part. But at the same time, like, I don't think I have an accent at all, but I know that I have an American accent. Bieber hasn't been in Canada really since he's been, yeah, a lot of, it seems like a lot of the Canadians just don't live in Canada after a while, at least they become famous. So I blame that on all you guys. You know what? It's because America's awesome. Or I sound normal. Yeah, I know. I don't see, like, I'm from Florida, and part of the thing with Florida is that you have so many people from so many different places that move here. You tend to get your accent. Southern Florida sounds different though. Not really. Like, it depends, because if you're from, like, there are certain parts of Florida, like, so where I'm at right now, if I were to drive into the nearest town and I talk to some random guy out there or girl, whatever, they would have a Southern accent. They 100% would have a Southern accent. unless they weren't from here. No, and it's not that. No, well, the accent you're thinking about. Oh, that whole thing. Yes, yeah. But that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. If you live in a city or near a lot of people, you tend not to have an accent because you have so many different types of people that live in your same area. At least here in Florida, this is how it goes. So many people, most of the people that live in the cities in Florida are from so many places that the people who are born and raised in those cities don't have much of an accent because it's just like a mixture of everything. My wife is from Tennessee and she says I sound like I'm from up north. But she has a very, very thick Southern accent. Like you can tell right away she's from the South. And like even Southern accents are different from each other. So like someone from Georgia doesn't sound the same way as someone from Texas or Tennessee. Like the accents are that big of a difference. But fine for animal welfare issues on the History Channel. Oh, yeah. Speaking of Trailer Park Boys, you ever seen Sam Squat? Squat. Oh, a Sam Squatch? No, I've not seen the Sam Squatch. I have not. But then in the Everglades, they're not around the city as much, and so they will have more of a Southern accent, or at least like a dialect that's closer to that. North Florida accent is pretty close to Georgia. Yeah, exactly. Where I'm at, and even where Field Herping Frenzy is at, like that area has, I'm going to turn around here, has a Southern accent for the most part. You talk to the average random person who grew up in that area because there's not as many people from other places there. Where I grew up in Pinellas, it's just a melting pot of everybody. And my mom is from New York. My dad is from Florida. So I never picked up that accent. But if you go to the more rural parts, there's a Southern accent for sure. But I just got unfortunate enough to not have it. I would much rather have a Southern accent, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, and then you go to places like Georgia or Alabama, and more people from those areas. Similar here with the melting. Yeah, what I'm saying. Yep, and a lot of the people who live in these areas, like Georgia, Alabama, like especially the southern states, or you get like states that don't have as high of a population, most of the people in those states will have, you know, their regional accent more often than not. But you know, because we're a melting pot for the most part, especially in the city areas here in Florida, there's a lot less diversity in accents. Green eggs and ham. But yeah, no, it's a weird thing. But yeah, no, some of the ones in the Everglades have an accent, but a lot of people I know that live down there don't have one. All right, let's get another snake in the car. Come on, let's get something. 10:18. Got to get something crossing. I haven't even seen a dead snake on this part of the road. Titties and beer, mustard and bologna. God, I gotta watch Trailer Park Boys again. Green bastard from the parts unknown. Oh yeah, I loved some Trailer Park Boys back then. I actually saw them live once when they came to Tampa. And they basically just, I mean, it was a fun show, but a lot of it was like a call-in thing. Like, so work flew me to Halifax, Nova Scotia in 2012, and then we went and see the Sunnyvale set. Nice. Oop, that's the freaking strap again. Damn it. They do so many live hangouts. Yeah, it was fun, and they did a lot of call-in stuff like on a screen, and then they sold burgers to the crowd. Like they legitimately like sold burgers. Randy. Yeah, I watched the entire thing up until they were like, even when they were releasing some of the later seasons. Like, I started watching before they had like Snoop Dogg on there and everything, like way back. No, not way back. They had a few seasons. Yeah, they and then they did like the animated stuff, especially after the guy who played Leahy died. And I pretty much stopped watching it as soon as it got animated. I was like, nope, no thank you. But I gotta watch the thing. I gotta rewatch it. There's some of the older stuff is just amazing. Yeah, I actually was wearing a Bubbles shirt today. I have it says Bubbles shopping cart something or other. I forgot what exactly it says on it, but it has a shopping cart on it. Yeah, and as soon as the animated stuff started, I'm like, no thank you. Man, these cicadas are so loud. I can hear them outside the car. I don't know if you can hear them or if they pick up. Do you hear that? You might only be able to hear the wind, but those cicadas are loud. Y'all get cicadas up in Canada? What do you think about Ricky? You came a long way to think you're king of cars. I've been hauling shop of cars right. Ricky. The reason certain people left was writing changes, and that's when the quality went down. Yeah, no, absolutely. Of course, that's just what happens when a show runs so long. Oh, gotcha. I think God made them a 17-year thing because we couldn't handle the noise every year. Give it a month. Well, it's funny that you say that because here in Florida, we have annuals. We don't get the 14 or 17-year ones. We only get the annual ones. So we have cicadas every single year. So we're special like that. The ground doesn't get cold enough for them to, freeze and thaw out. Like they don't, because they rely on temperature to come up. We just don't have that issue here. I saw a ton of slugs in my garden this spring. Nice. Did you eat them? I'm kidding. Don't eat random snails and slugs. There's so many parasites that come with them, and like rat lungworm is one that, like, if you get it, it will literally kill you. Do not eat snails and slugs. You don't know. Still too cold for them to fully emerge from the ground right now. That's crazy. It's freaking June. How's it still too cold? I don't understand that. It's so, oh my gosh, I couldn't do it. I could not do the cold like that. I'll just go crazy after a while. Yeah, well, yeah, I'm not a big fan of cold. I don't know if I've said this before. I mean, I know I've said it. I don't know if y'all have heard it, but I've never seen snow. So that'll tell you something about how cold it gets here. Never seen snow, not once. Or what if you came across a panther, though? Well, we don't get Florida panthers up this far north, really. I mean, technically, some people say they see them every once in a while, but even where they are found in high densities, that's hours and hours south of me, so that's not really something I'm worried about. They sound awesome, help you fall asleep at night. Exactly, you get used to them, they're not a big deal. You should come to Canada. It's only like 50 to 80. 50 to 80 what? Beautiful, bountiful resource snow, yeah. Like 50 at night and 80 during the, oh geez. Well, it hit 93 or 94 today, something like that. And it's currently, at least on my car, it says 77. Coldest it got this year that I can remember. I think it got like 23 or 24 one morning. And that's the coldest it got this winter. But it was a cold winter. When I say cold, it like consistently got into the 30s and 40s. Like cold fronts came one after the other. It was a cold winter. Would have been dead from heat exhaustion. Now, I definitely need to get in better shape because the heat is definitely getting to me a lot quicker than it used to. I was out working on the pool today and I'm like, damn, it's a bit muggy right now. Where are these freaking snakes? It was very mild here. Gotcha. I only ask in Red Dead Redemption 2, the town St. Denis, which I thought was imitating Florida, had a huge panther mission. I mean, there are Florida panthers here. There are, just not this far north. They really, technically speaking, if you go by what the FWC says, they are not, the breeding populations are not north of the Caloosahatchee River, which is one of the rivers that drains out Lake Okeechobee. But the roving males will make their way north of that, and they're as far north as Tampa, Lakeland, like the I-4 corridor. But you get random ones that are spotted north of there too. I have heat issues, so I gotta always avoid the UVs and overheating. Gotcha. Yeah, so there are Florida panthers here technically, and there's some random sightings every once in a while, but nowhere near as frequent as it's made out to be. The one thing you do see a ton of are alligators. You will see basically every body of water has an alligator. There was a scary bird that was almost my height with a stone-like beak. Are you talking about shoebill stork? Probably. That's what I'm assuming you're talking about. They're from Africa. Are there many Florida panther attacks? No. I think there's only been one documented ever, and it actually happened like a couple years ago. There was a guy turkey hunting, and it came up and swiped his face. But no, besides that, from my knowledge, there are no recorded Florida panther attacks besides that one. I'm assuming you're talking about the shoebill stork. Yeah, they're from Africa. And they beat their bill together and make a crazy sound. Oh, that was a snake that is gone now. It was shooting across the road. There was a ribbon snake. That sucks. There was no way I was going to be able to stop and get it. It was already over on the side of the road when I saw it. There was a cool video that came out with the panther running down the boardwalk in Everglades National Park, not attacked. I know what you're talking about. That was in Corkscrew, which is a little bit north of Everglades National Park, but I know what the video you're talking about. Yeah, it ran past the woman who was recording it. Yeah, if you go to the areas where they live, I know a guy who goes out to the cane fields to look for brown and knolls and stuff. And he's run into a couple of them while out at night looking for stuff. They're there if you look for them, but they're very rare to come across. Yeah, probably was a shoebill. From what you're talking, as tall as you're saying it was. I've seen them in they got a couple at Lowry Park Zoo, the zoo down in Tampa. They are tall. I just looked it up and it looks proper. Is that common in Florida? No, there are no. They're from Africa. They're not from Florida. We have the wood stork. The wood stork is here in Florida. They don't get anywhere near as big, but they're tall and they have those big bills. And then also, no, it was a snake and it moved off the road too fast. And then we also have the sandhill cranes, which again get really tall, but they don't have the big giant bill like that. They have like a bill like a heron. Yeah, yep, we got snowy egrets, blue herons. We got a bunch of different egrets and herons. Come on now. We got to get another one on deck here. This is the last pass I'm doing. Oh, let's hope that. Like I got a little bit before I turn around, but let's try to get another one. I said just the ribbon snake a minute ago, but that was already. I barely saw it. I just saw it squirming off the side of the road, but it was already off the side, and by the time I would have gone out and gotten for it, it would have already been in the grass. And there's no way I'm finding it after that. Horseshoe crabs are dope. I saw them at Sanibel. Yep. I saw one last time I went out to the beach. You don't see them as much as you used to, but you see them every once in a while. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, there's a few types of storks and really tall birds. It had a wider bill. Could have been if you look up a wood stork, that might have been one. They get pretty tall and they have a big wide beak as well. I'm surprised Florida don't have hippos since it has everything else. Yeah, well, back in like the 30s, Congress almost passed a bill that would have put a bunch of hippos in, I think it was Louisiana or Mississippi to take care of the vegetation problem, but they didn't. My friend got chased by it at Lake Okeechobee. Ospreys are dope. It might have been a wood stork then. Yeah, we got a lot of ospreys too. Ospreys are everywhere though there's water for them, from my understanding. All right, this is the last pass. There's a car coming. Let this car pass real quick. Let this thing pass real quick so I don't have it riding up on me. Do you have any animal phobias? Sharks for me. I get out of the pool and I see a cylindrical thing. It's a shark. Getting out in body experience watching myself climb ladder. I used to live in Florida there. Lived there 29 years. Nice. Animal phobias. I don't have any phobias necessarily. I don't like. I like spiders. I don't want to hold a spider though. Like I have an irrational fear that I'm going to get bit or something, even though I know it's probably not going to happen. So, wood stork of Shoebill doesn't get that big. Yeah, wood, you know, we got a lot of wood storks here in Florida. Broward County and West Palm. Yeah, oh, nice. South Florida. But, yeah, it's, I don't know if phobia. I mean, I definitely don't like, I like sharks. I don't like the thought of getting near them, like unless I am fishing or something like that. And of course there's a car right behind me. Man, I can't escape cars tonight. There's so many of them. House centipede. Yeah, I mean there's animals that I'm not afraid of them, but I'm not going to get close enough to, like, I would hate to be walking out in the woods and come across a bear. Like, that would freak me out. Even though I know the chances of something happening are very slim, I would not be a big fan of that. So if you could call that a phobia, I guess, but I'm not, I don't know. I'm not like irrationally afraid. I'm not a big fan of, I'm not a fan of walking around alone at night in the woods. I swim with a nurse shark in the Dominican Republic, but they have like no teeth or something. They do have teeth. They're like plates, almost like stingrays, and they use a suction action to suck in prey, so that like they can like vacuum onto you, but they rarely ever bite. The difference of respecting their power, but I don't think that's about. Yeah, agreed. I'm not going to purposely put myself in a situation that's probably going to be dangerous, but like alligators and snakes and stuff, I'm not a fear. I'm not afraid of them at all. But when you get face to face with a large alligator, it puts things in perspective for you. Stingrays in the same ocean. Yeah, stingrays there's a lot of them. Rational for me to get out of the pool because it was shouting. No, I get that. But yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of walking around in the woods at night alone. At nighttime, you can hear the lion roar. Oh, that's cool. There's a place like that. I used to go kayaking a lot and fishing a lot. And there was a creek not too far away from where I lived, and there was a guy who had a big cat preserve. And I didn't know it until I heard a lion roaring one day when I was kayaking. I'm like, what in the hell is that? Because I know what a lion sounds like, and I'm like, why is there a lion? I know that's what that sound is. And the guy had a preserve right down the road from where I was at. Me and Nate just have to worry about striped coyotes and people. I mean, coyotes are not really anything to worry about. I know I made that video on them, but like, I guess the point of it was like, there have been a couple of deadly encounters with coyotes, but it's not really a thing you got to worry about. It's very rare. Coyotes aren't any harm. Yeah, I mean, they've killed 2 people total. One of them was a 3-year-old. The other one was a 19-year-old. And the only reason that they did that was because in the area where she was at, they had started killing moose, and it was just a freak occurrence. If they're sick, you got to worry. Yeah, I mean, with anything though, you got to worry about a possum, or not a possum, but a raccoon with rabies too. Like, it's just a very rare thing you don't really have to worry about, but there's always the possibility of the freak occurrence happening. And coyote attacks do happen, they're just not common. Alright. Are you still alive? Or are you still alive? Yeah, I'm still alive. Yeah, not for much longer. We've got a few snakes tonight. I swear I see coyotes more often than raccoons. Yeah, there's a lot of coyotes. There's a lot of them in places where they didn't used to be. Yeah, got a corn snake, 2 ribbon snakes, and a blue striped garter snake. That documentary, Coyote America, would prove that they're largely harmless. And yeah, I agree, they're largely harmless. But it's just like with anything. 9 times out of 10, even with that, I'd say 99 times out of 10, you're not gonna have an issue. You hate snakes? What? Snakes are awesome. Snakes are awesome. They don't want to hurt you. Well, animals are just animals, just like people are people. I was out at Richland, nothing but dead pygmies. Kids are out of school. Gotcha. No, they are the devil. No, that's a lie. They are not the devil. They're just like any other animal. You respect them, give them their space, and you won't have any issues. Now me, on the other hand, too many people. Yeah, there's a ton of people on the road tonight. It's kind of infuriating, to be quite honest. Like, I don't understand. Where the hell are these people coming? Is that someone in a wedding gown? Oh no, she's just in a dress. I thought someone was in a wedding gown back there. I gotta flip rocks for Jefferson salamanders. That would be really cool. Devil became a snake, so yes, they are the devil. Oh, come on, man. No, if you're gonna use that, like, I hear that argument a lot. That is a really, a woman in white. Oh no, that would freak me out a little bit. Don't worry. I'm not gonna pick some random woman up on the side of the road. I'd spray her with bear mace first, and then say I'm married and drive away. Pull over and find a snake. I'm trying to. This is private property on either side of me. I'm not shining the lights out here, unfortunately. But no, anyone who uses the argument that the devil turned into a snake, that's unfortunate that is what is used to justify the killing of snakes. Nah, it's a dumb argument. Your wife would probably be happy about that, though. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't put myself in situations where I'm going to even have anyone question me. So I don't like even, I'm the unfortunate part is when I did drive Lyft and Uber, that is a weird thing that I have to worry about because sometimes I do just get single women in the car. So I really don't talk to people when I do Uber and Lyft for the most part. Get some bath salts. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Throw them out of the. Ooh, there's a snake right there. Looks like a little rat snake. Gotta be quick. Oh, he's turning. Oh no, it's a little ribbon snake. Little tiny ribbon snake. Oh, and he's pooping and spinning all over me. Here, get out of the road. Yeah. Nothing like it. I hope you guys like that. All right. I thought it was a rat snake, but it was a ribbon. You know what? I'm just glad to have found something. Yes, join the Discord if you haven't yet. All right. Poopy ribbon. Yep. Yeah, he was lucky. It was lucky he was easy to see. He was just, when you get to a certain point, it's pretty easy to tell if something's a snake. Unless it's not a snake. And then if you just see something in the road that looks like a snake, you're going to think it's a snake every time until you get really close. The serpent wasn't Satan, and yes, but the serpent. The religious argument just doesn't really. It's just kind of a dumb argument. If that's why you're afraid of animals, then, or don't like animals because of some religious context, I just don't really think that's a good argument. Not that there's anything wrong with religion, like, go for it. Like I said, I won't kill a snake, I just don't like them. I got you. I understand. You don't have to like them. So at least you don't just kill them. Yeah, I understand, if that, I scare the poop out of them, literally, when I pick them up. So I get that. Hopefully you get something besides a ribbon. Let's get one more snake in hand. It'd be nice to get a rat snake. Maybe even another fat cotton. Fat moccasin. How about that? Watch out for Jeepers Creepers. Yeah, from my understanding, I'm pretty sure Jeepers Creepers was filmed not too far away from where I am right now. Like them, or not all creatures have a purpose. Yep, all creatures do have a purpose. It's the reason they're still here. They fulfill a need in their ecosystem. Fat shaming things. Yeah, I'm gonna fat shame everyone, including myself. Fat shame for you, fat shame for me, fat shame for everybody. In Ellen High School area. I don't know the exact spot, but I know it's in somewhere in central to north central Florida, somewhere out there. Except for spiders and snakes. Joke. Except for all the ones I don't like. Jeepers Creepers was made after me. Yeah, because you're old. Cicadas have to drive alligators into pools in Florida, man, to try to resurrect his dog. Oh my God, that'd be something. All right, come on, let's get something else. Did see an owl earlier in the road. Got a few seconds of that. Jeepers Creepers was made by a bad man. So many things were made by bad men, or people that we would consider to be bad men today, that we use every day and we don't even think twice about. So that whole argument, I don't really buy into it. Yeah, people suck, but I'm still going to use my phone. I mean, you know, that's just me, the straight white male, and my bigotry. Like Ford and Disney. Yeah, how many, you're going to tell so many people how bad Disney was, and they're going to like, oh, I know he was a terrible person, but I like to go to Disney World. Or like how many car companies, like every single car company, the 4-lane. Oh my God, that whole story was crazy. Let's just enslave a group of people in South America and then just abandon them. There's good and bad in everything. It's what you want to see and what we will see. Yeah, exactly. There's good and bad in everybody and everything. There's people who do, but that's why I don't really view good and evil any particular way. You know when something is supposed to be evil, and you do your best not to do the thing. Because I mean, there's some things that I would consider evil that because of the way I choose my morality. And yeah, just for rubber, exactly. Volkswagen, BMW, all of them. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Like there's so many things. There's things that I consider to be an evil act that people in the same place that I live in don't consider an evil act. Anyone supposed to Tromo that's still alive is kind of yikes. So, oh no, that whole no. That's a whole different. That's a whole different thing. There is something called a freedom seed, which is the cure to that. No. There are some things that everyone should consider to be an evil thing, but there's plenty of things that I might consider to be evil that other people don't. And you have to live with that because some people don't see certain things as bad when you consider them to be the worst thing in the world. So it's a very difficult thing, and you have to learn that not everyone has the same moral sense that you do. Well, yeah, I will say this much. I'm not going to comment on that situation because I'm not really going to stake my claim in any of that. It's good for the Panthers, bad for the deer. Exactly. So you just have to play everything and know that there's a lot of gray areas and things. And there are certain things that the wider world would consider good or bad. Oh, there's a dead snake right there, but there's a car coming right here. I want to see what that dead snake is. I'm going to pull over on the side right here. Private property. I'm going to let this car pass. I'm going to go check out what this dead snake was. Because I'm basically at the end of this road. My fat ass running down the street. I want to see what this is. Oh. That dude literally just hit this rat snake. I thought it was dead. That sucks. Oh, Sheriff Grady Judd's the best. I like me some Grady Judd. He's not even my sheriff. There's a guy driving down the street real fast right now. Yeah, I like some Grady Judd. Oh. Florida has some decent people in the business. Yeah, you know, Florida does a lot of things right, and at the same time, even the people that I like don't do everything the right way, at least in my opinion. I agree with a lot of their takes and stances on some things. And when it comes to the environment, dude, I don't even live in your country. I know who he is. Yeah, he's all over social media. Yeah. That's the thing about social media, is that, then that's the unfortunate thing too. I know about all the crappy things that I think AOC has said, and doesn't even affect my district. What you were saying is that you have to separate the art from the artist. Methods don't celebrate Hitler artist involvement, creation, but pot celebrate his birthday every year on 420. Yeah, yeah, and separate art from the artist, and there's so many people. There's so many people in the world, so many people who have lived, so many people who have done unspeakable things, but have contributed to society in different ways. The world is not black and white. The world is gray. And I don't know, you have to just realize that the more you take a stance on one thing, that you have to start taking a stance on more. And then, I don't know, just try to be the best person you can be and move on. I don't know. That's how I kind of view it. And that's the thing, is like, I definitely have lightened up a lot on my beliefs on a lot of things over the past few years. I used to be a lot more hardline with stuff, and you could, at one point in time, you could consider me a hardline, like straight up conservative. Maybe even a little bit farther to the right side, whatever you want to call that. But, and it's not that I don't have a lot of those same beliefs now, but I also realize that there's a lot of lying going around on either side. Yes, extremism on any side isn't good. And a lot of the people that I used to watch, that I used to be like, yeah, I realize that they're all just kind of shite. And so I just kind of I listen to as many things as I can and kind of just do my own, form my own opinions on things. And, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just I'm right, kind of a middle right for America, I guess. Yeah, and it's just, it is what it is. Like, I have the things that I like and believe in, and I listen to the opinions of other people, but, I don't really care. And if you believe everything that one person says, like, as an example, I listen to a lot of Destiny. A lot of people hate Destiny. I don't like a lot of the things he says. I like a lot of the way he deals with situations, though. And he is definitely farther left on a lot of things than I am. But it's not the point of whether I agree or disagree with everything he says. It's the part that, like, he will talk to anybody. And I do like that about him. I hate him too far left. Yeah, and he definitely is way too far left on certain things for me. 100%. I don't agree with the stances on, Trump or, a couple, like, there are things that I'm like, bro, that's such a dumb take. Like, but the point of it is that he does have conversations with everybody. And he does try to look at things, at least from my view, from he forms his own opinion. Tim Pool, I used to like Tim Pool a lot. And then the more I got into him, the more I realized, oh, this dude is literally just blowing every situation into like the end of the world. And he's just cringe now to me. You should listen to bullshit. Yeah. And so, like, I know he's just super cringe to me now. Yeah, and he's always pushing that there's going to be a civil war. And then, like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure that there's a lot of things that are going on right now that could potentially turn into that. Sure. But, like, at the same time, touch grass, go outside. Not everyone's like that. Not everyone's the way they are online. So, are there really bad people out there who are doing really dumb things? Yeah, but, like, not everything's the end of the world type scenario. And Tim Pool loves to push that. So, and then he's just cringy to me, kind of. But, like, Steven Crowder was another one. I liked him for a long time. And then I'm just like, bro, you're just kind of, like, saying the worst thing you possibly can, and it's just annoying. You're just annoying at this point. Like, I don't know. Everyone has their goods and bads, but, like, I stopped listening to a lot of those guys. Okay, like 10-year-old in Sephora, me in the world. You never know. You never know. And I know I don't usually talk about this stuff straight up like this, Green Ranger. I use that phrase all the time when I teach. People are, without doubt, inherently done. Yeah, Crowder did get really annoying. And yeah, exactly. That's the whole thing. I'm just a constitutional type guy. And the problem is, for me, if somebody is trying to sell you something, it's probably bullshit. But at the same time, like, I do believe that global warming is a thing. I used to not believe that. I do believe it's a thing. Does that mean I think that we need to destroy our economy to make global emissions zero? No, that's dumb too. But am I a anti-vaxxer? No, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I have vaccinations. Do I get the flu vaccine every year? No, I've never had the flu vaccine. Did I get the COVID jab? No, I didn't, because I didn't really see a need to. And do I think it's going to cause you to have heart attacks? No, I don't. I don't know, really, honestly. But I'm not, like, I don't care. Like, that's not something that affected, even when COVID was going on, it didn't affect me. Like, I just went about my life. Like, whatever, you're not going to freak, it is what it is. So, like, there's middle roads. And especially with animals, I've noticed this too, is that people will just make blanket statements about things. Blanket statements almost never are true. I'm immune compromised, so I kind of had to take the risk. Yeah, no, and I get it. And like, there are people, like my mom was immune compromised. I hated COVID too. My mom had a stroke a year before, and she has multiple health issues. She got COVID multiple times, was fine. But that's not the way that everybody was, and I get that. So, like, but I also think that, anyway, also people at festivals would have people for 6 days and not one person got COVID. Everyone was so scared. Yeah, it's just, and I also am under the impression that everyone also wants to be a victim. And I know I'm being hyperbolic there, but everyone wants to be a victim and wants to be upset about everything. You're not going to offend me with almost anything you say. If you attack my family, that's one thing. But you can make fun of me all you want. I'm not going to care, even if it's intrinsic values that I can't change. Global warming became way too politicized, and it still is. And the people who act like they know how to fix it are the ones that are the worst among them, because we don't know how to fix it. Is it a thing? Absolutely, you can check the data. Is it a cyclical thing? We work our best to reduce our emissions and all that? Absolutely, we should. Does that mean we should shut down the world economy? No, because China doesn't give a shit. All these other countries don't care that the whales are endangered. They're going to go out and hunt them. Like, it's a gray situation. It's not black and white, and no one has the answer. That's how I kind of view everything. So I know I'm blowing up the government fudge, the COVID number, death. Exactly. And then maybe, I don't know. I don't know enough about it. In situations, do things make sense to me? Sure, a lot of things do make sense to me, and maybe. But, like, do I have that exact answer? Do I know for sure that's the case? No, I don't. So I'm not going to pretend like I know the answer. So that's how I kind of try to view the world. No. I have my opinions, but I kind of try to give everything a little bit of leeway, because people mess up. And the United States is the most environmentally regulated country in the world, while China, India. Yeah, exactly. And that's how I feel about that too. But anyway, political rant over. Thank you guys for watching. Seriously, it was fun. I know we didn't catch as many snakes as we'd like to, but we did find some snakes. And I really do enjoy the fact that you guys stick around and watch and enjoy the banter. I really do enjoy this stuff. This is fun for me, and it gets me out of the house for a little bit. So thank you guys for watching. If you are not a part of the Discord, go check that out. The link is in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Seriously, thank you guys a lot for joining, and yeah, toodaloo.